Hello everybody and welcome to Blunders Bothwellians, the Wounded Witch edition, the Sunday Adventuring Party, episode 3! Woohoo! Took so long to get here, but it doesn't matter. Is everyone excited? Yay!
Super excited.
Yeah.
I like that none of you sounded sarcastic, thank God.
Why would you be sarcastic?
So, we are here. And there was a few people who were missing last week, so they've now caught up for the most part, but I'm going to do a recap anyway. So last week, our adventurers were still in the town of Sabis on the northwestern coast of the town. That's country. That's the one. Country of Travis, and they ended up fighting a great deal of scarecrows who were coming to life and eating food, things, people, depending. And they banded together with some of the half-orcs defending the town to sort things out. Things seemed to be going their way, and then... Ooh, nice spooky music, there we go. Spooky music for the background. Woohoo, as I recap last week. You can tell this is the darker adventuring party. So, they battled some scarecrows, and nothing at all. No, nothing at all. So, they battled some scarecrows, discovered that was what was going on in the town. That was why people weren't allowed to leave. The half-orcs were trying to stop the scarecrows that had come to life because of the great darkness when the land of Travis had gone to war against this great evil dark shadowness. And between that episode and the next one, we had a few people missing. So what we wrote in that happened was that a few of you fell unconscious during the first attack from the scarecrows. You were perfectly alive, not at death's door, but unconscious. They carried you back into town and left you in your rooms, and to answer Arissa's previous question, in separate beds. This was of great importance, apparently. So you were all in separate beds in the same room in the tavern of the Red Holly. And you guys were left in there while the rest of them went out and found out some more things about the town and struck a deal with the half-orcs and Bainham, the leader of the half-orcs, who agreed that seeing as you were slightly useful, if you stayed one more day, mostly while your companions rested up, and you fought one more night and got rid of as many scarecrows with them as you possibly could, then they would let you leave the town and go further on your way. Agreeing to this, and Varric also having broken into the food supply and stealing a lot of food, as is his wont.
And us burning down the fields.
Yeah, essentially, to recap in a sentence last week, what happened? You set fire to all of their fields and stole a lot of their food.
It was only one field.
Yeah, oh yeah, sorry, it was just one field. Oh, and a house.
There's nobody
One
in it.
house as well.
So, carrying on from last week, you, as part of your... Kess went and had a look at the scarecrow, couldn't find anything. It was evil, but nothing had been left behind. Whenever the scarecrows got destroyed, they turned into black smoke and whirled up into the dark sky ahead and seemed to disappear. And
but the road was left.
yes,
Isn't it?
like the
The
stick
stick
that it was on,
yeah.
and like the bits of clothing and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, the stick was left behind.
except when it was on fire, and then the stick was not left.
Oh yeah.
So that
But there was
evening,
a lot of that.
exactly. That evening, you guys went out and you helped to destroy a lot more scarecrows, setting fire to a field in the process and throwing lots of scarecrows in. You also set fire to one of the houses in the town and lured scarecrows into that. Pug doing a fantastic elf twerk dance to allure the scarecrows in with his performance check, which worked right up until the last minute, and he had to make a dive out of the back window to escape.
That was the plan all along.
Yeah, obviously, yes. Entirely the plan. The DM was not laughing at you at any point during that. So having done all of this and destroyed the scarecrows, you guys congratulated yourselves and were thinking, haha, we're going to get to leave. However, the sky grew a lot darker and you started to notice that there was a massive hulking shadow shape far off in the distance of Travis. It was part sky, part in the ground, walking across in the far distance. And you went outside and there was like a whirlpool of darkness in the air. And the city was under a lot of red lightning and clouds and storms. And a great mass of darkness swirled with like tendrils above you. More scarecrows came out and started attacking the villagers, the townsfolk, who all started screaming and running away and hiding in their houses. At this point was when you set fire to the house and threw a lot of the scarecrows in. A few of the half-orcs died, a few of the village people died. You guys took a bit of damage, but you were mostly all right. And that was when the big black hulking mess in the sky started to get pissed. And it smacked out tentacles and knocked you all over. It smashed up a load of houses in the town. And then it smashed up the tavern, the Red Holly. And in a valiant effort to save your 3 fallen unconscious comrades from being grabbed and seized by the long black tendrils from the sky, the elf Varric, in a hangry rage, jumped up and dived at it and was snatched into the sky by several of the tendrils. The rest of you on the ground.
Varric was saving Arissa.
He was saving, the guys in the tavern who'd all been unconscious, lying in the ruins of the tavern. And to save them from being snatched by the tendrils, he himself was snatched by the tendrils and raised into the air. To which the guys on the floor started firing magic at it, and Pug, I believe, threw bits of dirt and gravel at it. And between you managed to get it down to 1 tendril hanging around his waist. But unfortunately, he took too much damage in the process and failed 3 of his death-saving rolls, and Varric died and was... and Arissa's crying. And was sucked into the air by the giant black tendril, never to be seen again. After that, the skies cleared, and as clear as they ever get in Travis, which is still fairly grey and miserable, and the red forked lightning storm carried on in the distance, and the black hulking shadow shape far across the landscape carried on walking. And that's where we left off. So what I'm going to say for now is that those of you who weren't here last week, which was Arissa, Belgarath, and I believe Kiara, you were unconscious as well. You 3 came to consciousness when the tavern exploded, essentially, and you guys found yourselves awake in the rubble of the room that you had been laid in. You're in 3 beds, 3 separate beds. In a room in the Red Holly. You recognise bits of the Red Holly, except that you can now see the black sky, and as you were coming to consciousness, you vaguely remember seeing the green-clad, dark-haired elf diving into the sky, and some big black mass, and you've got faded memories of something that might have been a dream, might have not, but you guys are coming to conscious now. All the noise has stopped, the storm, the wind, everything's died down. And you're in the remnants of the tavern, and that's where we'll pick up for now. So the rest of you are still conscious and awake, and yeah, there you are. Marissa is frantically typing. You got to be unconscious after your first fight with the first group of scarecrows, and we sort of had it that just before it died, it caught you all a big sweeping smack, and you all got knocked unconscious.
Okay.
I thought it was just more fair than saying you wandered off and missed everything.
Yeah.
Although for Arissa that would be quite appropriate, but
So we just right now.
You guys, yeah, you're coming to consciousness in the wreckage of the tavern, and the rest of your party you see are just down the street, sort of staring up at the sky. And there's still like red lightning and there's some thunder going on, but it's a lot more faded and it's off in the distance. So yeah, play, you guys, play.
No, you don't, because you just point up.
Shut up.
I didn't hear that because you went all crackly.
Just double checking that I don't heard yet.
No, I mean you sort of hazily saw him, but you don't know what's happened.
Okay.
I'll just connect over my laptop. Sorry, I'll be back.
That's all right.
Okay, so I guess we're just yawning, coming away, and
Yeah.
us saying
I
something
mean,
like,
fairly abruptly, to be fair. Like, it wasn't like a nice coming to conscious. Like, the world around you collapsed. Like...
Okay, well then, shockingly come away and just think, what the hell happened?
The two around you are Arissa and Kiara. If you want to speak to the others, you're going to have to shout because they're further down the street. Or you can get up and walk to them.
Okay, well I get up from where I was lying, and lean out the window and shout at them, what the hell's gone on?
I don't think this is happening.
Well, I'll lean out the wreckage of the
Hi, Miss Varric. This is so sad.
What?
Yeah, so guys, Varric's dead. He's gone forever. We tried. He's gone.
Are you serious?
Yeah, the shadow monster ate him.
Which one was Barrett?
How can this not have recorded
We
that?
decided to kill them.
Well, sorry, I only just mentioned people.
Arissa's just gonna break down into salt.
Oh no, they're there.
You're not helping!
Well, that's all I got.
Yeah, he was good, but he's dead now. There's not much we can do about it now, so let's move on.
Where did
And he took all his food with him.
he did, actually. That's a good point.
Wait, do we still have a lot?
At least he died. What do you most?
Okay, so
So is this shadow monster gone now, or do we need to go find it and kick its ass?
Well, you can certainly try. I mean, it's
wait,
bigger.
what shadow monster is this?
It's bigger than Colossal.
Well, it took Varric. We need to seek revenge.
I mean, if it's a big shadow monster, I mean, I'm sure Varric was a very nice cat, but I wasn't really that attached to it. It certainly wasn't in a way that I'd be willing to risk my life on this.
Well, it looks like his soul was taken by this darkness. I'm sure if you are really missing him, you could get it back if you found it.
What do you mean found it? Where do you think it is?
We saw it in the distance, didn't we?
Yeah.
I mean, I assume it's a big black shadowy thing that we're talking about, which I'm very keen on going in the opposite direction of.
I assume the first order of business is to talk to the big head orc in charge. Make sure it won't be stopping us if we try to leave again.
As if they could be able to. But let's talk to him.
Agreed.
Can we ask if he's in the big black monster thing before?
You can do, yeah. You see Bainham and a few other half-orcs sort of running back from the fields towards the town. They've put out some of the fires and they're picking up some of the townsfolk who've fallen over and been struck by things falling from the ceiling and that. And yeah, you can see Bainham, you can come up and chat to him, yeah.
Okay, who's going to take the lead on?
Yeah, I walk over to Bainham.
Alright, what you gonna say?
So, squishlings.
Alright.
It seems like you suffered some losses, just as us have.
Alright. You still be wanting to get on your way then?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, we do want to leave.
Yeah. You can fuck right off then, on your way.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
As you start to walk around, some people are looking out of windows and peering out of basements, and villagers are coming around and they're going, "It's you! It's you! You brought the darkness here! It's evil! Get them out! Get them out! Get them out! And don't come back!"
Wait a moment, little puny squishlings. Your lives were saved by our help.
Wouldn't have need to say that if you hadn't brought it here. It liked you. It's come to you. It's come to get all of us because of you. Get out, get out, get him out.
This curse has been laid on your lands for years now, hasn't it, Bainham?
Just want to say that the feedback that we're getting here is just making casting just even more epic. Awesome. So it's just got this amazing echo. It's awesome.
Can you repeat, like, the last half of that?
Yeah, I'm kind of getting around the echo by muting everyone except for Rosie, because everyone's coming through her.
I didn't get a word of that.
It should be a bit quieter now.
Okay, how is everyone hearing? Okay, so yes, has just been saying, you know, squishy humans, screw you guys. I'm all in favour of just, you know, taking it as a win-win and saying, you know, let's just go.
Yeah, it seems like they can handle this on their own. I say we head out.
So where exactly are you heading out?
Not sure. I mean, as far away from the actual thing as possible.
Towards the castle, right?
Sounds good to me.
Which castle?
The capital of Trevice, right? Capital, castle.
You think
Why
that?
not?
Bainham, are there any castles in Trevice left?
Castles still left standing? You're having a fucking laugh, aren't you?
You're a law.
So what about ruins?
Yeah,
We're
there'll
gonna
be
go
plenty
loot
of
the
them.
ruins.
Look, I don't care where you're going, you just get going, alright? You get. You've upset our villagers, they think it's all because of you. And I'm starting to think it might be too. We've never had nothing this bad before. Never seen that shit come out of the sky before. Must not have taken a fancy to you. Must not like you very much. Well, far as I'm concerned, you can get going. Go on, get.
Perhaps, Bainham, you have a little admission to make to all the villagers. These creatures appearing for how long was it? 10 years?
Oh yeah, surprise, surprise! Hey villagers, everyone who wants to listen to me, there's been some dark shit happening for the last 10 years because of the fucking war. Oh, funny that. 5 years actually. 5 years because of the war. Funny that. Is anyone surprised? Anyone? And the villagers are sort of like looking around like, what? What? Yeah, we've had little bits of problems over the years, but we've dealt with it fine until this lot come along. And they seem to have awakened a sort of hate in the big bad. Anyone else want them out? Yeah, get them out! Out! Get them out! Get them out!
Well, whatever suits you. I hope you all will meet your end, little squishlings.
I have no doubt you'll meet yours very soon. Alright, get out. Cheery bye, cheery bye.
Dragonborn, I think we're fighting a losing battle here. Let's just get out of here while we...
So you are heading out of Savis. Are you... Basically, it's surrounded by the wood pass, so is that where you're going? I mean, otherwise you can... I mean, otherwise...
Yeah, we gotta go
otherwise there's a
through
cross
the wood
water.
pass. We gotta go through the wood pass to get to the castles, right?
Yeah, huh?
Let's do that.
Do I know about... Oh, sorry. Do I know about any castle ruins nearby?
The nearest you would know of is the capital, Rog, which is just past the town of Dents, if you keep going sort of towards the centre.
Do I want to go there?
Yeah, that's where they got the good shit, right? The good artifacts.
You hope.
I heard a rumor about some necklace that you can knock people down by yelling at them. Now that sounds like something I need in my arsenal. So let's go get
that
that.
necklace.
Sure, why not doing anything there? I'd be happy to follow our fellow in this quest.
Pug, do you mean the bountiful amulet of mockery that the tavern owner told you about?
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
It has been like 3 weeks to get that in.
Just checking.
Can't hear you
So
at all.
wait. Just before we were interrupted by these dark forces, weren't we going to go into the forest to investigate something?
There were bandits in the forest, but the townspeople seem to be able to take care of their own problems.
So do we want to just head over to the capital?
Yeah, if any bandits cross our path, we can take them out.
Okay, so we're going towards Dennis.
Arissa's too quick. She may need dragging.
Okay, so through the wood pass?
Yes, please.
Alrighty. So you guys head off, and you've got some food and supplies with you, just because you generally would have, but not a massive great deal. Those of you who were unconscious yesterday, so that's Balgorath, Arissa, and Kiara, you probably have an extra day's more food than everyone else. That just FYI for you to have. Okay, so you head on off, and the trees are quite dense and quite dark. They're quite overcast. Because the cloudy sky is so naturally dark in Travis anyway, it it's almost like walking in a dimly lit evening forest as opposed to walking through one that's fairly early on in the sort of afternoon time. You reach the edge and look back, and the town is picking things up, and people are starting to brush each other down and give each other some first aid and things and pointing up at the sky. Some people are retelling the story to other people. The half-orcs don't give you a second's glance. Some people are still staring at you as you walk. And finally, the little town disappears from your vision as you are now in the middle of the trees. Okay, so did you want to all spread out, or did you want to walk in any sort of... Did you want to walk in any sort of order or formation?
I'll go first because I'm tough.
Alright, Pug's going first.
Who's dragging me?
Okay, so who wants
Yeah,
to
thanks, guys.
who wants to like drag Arissa?
Now there's the one barrack we can use. We've lost it.
Okay, so Pug's at the front, and Belgarath, are you going towards the front or the back? Alright. So, how about Enna and Kiara, where do you want to be? Do you want to be towards the front, the back, or the middle?
Middle.
Middle!
Towards the front.
Okay. So Kiara is behind Pug and near Belgarath. Enna, you're towards the middle. And Arissa, you find yourself sort of swept along on the shoulders of your comrades and just in a sort of daze walking along. You can't really feel the ground underneath your feet. You're just walking, and that's all you're aware of at the moment. And Cass, are you towards the back?
Is that all of us or just Arissa? Not feeling the ground.
No, it's just Arissa because she's a bit unhappy.
Okay.
Okay, and Cass, were you towards the back? Sorry.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, cool. So, Belgarath.
Yeah.
You suddenly feel a great burst against your back, and you take 4 points of necrotic damage.
The hell did I do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Wasn't me, man. Wasn't me.
Like as a demon what?
Wasn't me.
Sure. Alright, so it's 4 points you said.
4 points, yeah.
Right, so.
Just a dinky bit. Okay. And you carry... I didn't mean dinky,
You
sorry.
alright, Belgarath?
I feel suddenly weak for some reason. Oh wait, sorry, yeah. I feel suddenly weak for some reason. Something's happened.
A bit more of the darkness lingering.
I don't know, maybe.
You fainted quite easily to the creatures.
Apparently, yeah. I mean, I felt fine 1 second, but then like, all of a sudden keeled over and over again can't make. So maybe they affected me in a way that might have been different from the way they affected you.
Maybe you got a weak constitution.
No, that's not it.
As you guys head on, the trees are growing quite close together, but they're quite tall, and for all intents and purposes, pretty if you had a nicer sky behind them and potentially greener grass. Everything is a little bit grey, as if the entire landscape is covered in a layer of thick ash and dust. The trees still grow, but the branches are sort of gnarled out to the sides, and when they cross over and you catch the light, they're quite pretty. But they're not brown. They're sort of a dull grey with streaks of red in them. The leaves aren't green and fancy. They're dull, almost dark turquoisey blue with red and grey in them. And it feels more foreboding than entrancing to those of you who've lived and been in forests before. Those of you, particularly Cass, who know Travis, it doesn't feel particularly unusual to you. It feels like...
Yeah, this is home.
This just feels like Travis.
Yeah, it's home.
So, you guys walk on, and eventually, after a few hours, the trees... You find a few clearings here and there as you go. There are no particular paths. They don't seem to be clearing, and you know that you've probably still got a while to go. Night is now falling in the way that it does in Travis, getting very dark very rapidly. Several of you start to have grumbling stomachs, and you realise it's getting quite late on in the evening. Do you want to carry on walking, or do you want to make camp?
I say we find the nicest, most clearing we can, put up a tent, and build a fire.
So which of you has a tent?
Does it not come with a tent in the explorer's pack?
No, I got the explorer's pack, but that has a bed in it. No tent.
They're all tents, same thing.
I feel like there's some...
So, what have you guys decided to do? Are you stopping, or what do you think?
I agree, it's a good idea to set up camp.
Yeah.
Alright.
I can
So,
start firing if you like.
say again?
I said I can start a fire if you like.
Would you like, guys?
Yes, please.
Yes.
That
Right.
would be useful, I suppose.
I'll gather some
Yeah,
fire.
we need a fire.
Got fire.
Those of you who have rations, particularly Belgarath, Arissa, and Kiara, you do have some things within them that you were given in the Red Holly. You can cook up like a simple stew if you want to feed everyone for the evening, then you can just take some of that.
Okay, well it might be a good idea for a gifting sort of dinner.
Rosie, do we have our starting rations?
I'm gonna say yeah, because you probably didn't need them while you were in the town, because you could get fed while you were there.
Okay.
Is there any ale in the rations?
I'm thinking probably not.
What shit rations we get?
I mean, potentially you were given some by Listor from the Red Holly.
Yeah, but I drank it by then.
Yeah, you probably drank it just on the walk in the woods, to be fair. So, sorry, Pug, there's probably no alcohol.
Fuck.
So, Balgarath grabs some firewood and starts up a fire. Anyone who has bedrolls or blankets can snuggle under them. The rest of you, it's a little bit chilly. You probably need to hunker down under something if you want to avoid losing sleep and things. You can have a look around for moss and big leaves and trees and things. I mean, hell, you can hunt an animal and sleep under that Star Wars style if you fancy it.
Sounds nice enough.
Nice.
So yeah, while he is starting the fire and a few people are making some stew, what are the rest of you getting? What would you like to get up to, guys? All of you, what would you like to get up to? Apart from Belgarath, you can decide what you want to do after you finish the fire. How about that?
Yeah, well, the fire won't take me that long because I'm conjuring from my hand, so that's like a.
Okay, so about 5 seconds in the future, what do you fancy doing?
Well, it will make sense to scout out the area. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So Cass is gonna scout out the area. Does anyone else want to join her?
Yeah, I'll come with the scouts.
Cool. Okay. Anyone else, or just the two of you?
The other ones are a bit scared, aren't they?
All right
Scared
then.
enough. Let's go.
All right. So between the two of you,
What are you calling human?
Me.
Oh, right, you. Well, you're all in mourning.
okay. So can Cass and Belgarath please roll perception?
Okay. Got a 13.
13 for Cass. And for Pug?
Nat 20.
Wow. Okay.
Nice.
Awesome. All right. You, Pug, spot a couple of wild deer roaming around just outside the clearing. And Cass, you notice that there's a very small stream with fresh, clear water nearby.
Alright. Let me attempt to sneak up on the deer.
Or we could just shoot it.
Oh no,
I
guys.
look like I got a bow and arrow.
Please let him. Oh, please, oh, please, oh, please let him.
Wait, is Bob going to try and punch the deer?
Are you going to grapple the deer?
How else are we gonna get it?
We could shoot it with magic.
I ain't one of those fancy magic elves. I'm the kind that punches things in the face, and I am about to punch that deer in the face.
Okay. If you want me to, I could distract the deer, and then you can punch it in the back of the head.
What are you gonna do to the deer? Drag it.
Distract it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You gotta do that.
All right. So Cass, roll. Ooh, distract a deer.
I feel like that's going poorly.
Well, I sort of feel like it should either be performance or animal handling. So pick which one you're best at out of the two of those, Cass.
Performance. Well, I was going to use magic to distract it.
Oh, okay. In which case, yeah, do that. Fuck rolling things. Just do it. It'd be great.
Well, I was once like chill touch.
Yeah.
Which creates a skeletal
But that
hand.
requires you to sneak up on it too.
Sorry?
That requires you to sneak up on it too, the chill touch.
Yeah, if you have to get close to it, then roll a sneak or stealth, and then you can do your chill touch. I'll say with advantage because how well Pug spotted it. So.
Okay. But it's 120 feet range on it. So.
On a chill touch? Damn,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, okay, in which case don't worry about it. No, it's within range, so you can just fire away.
I didn't want to actually attack it, so I think what we discussed that I would distract it while Pug sneaks up on it to punch the deer. So basically,
Alright,
I just want to use the skeletal hand to make noise, so the deer is looking in another direction.
All right.
while Pug is sneaking.
All right. Go for it.
Yeah, okay.
So do I get
I
advantage?
probably don't have to roll much.
No, I'm gonna say you just do it, Kes, because it's funnier.
Yeah.
So yeah, Pug, first roll your
Stealth.
and then roll roll to grapple the deer. Oh my god, I just said that, didn't I?
Alright, that's 20 on stealth.
Okay, you sneak up behind the deer that you so expertly spotted. You also sneak up behind the deer and grapple the deer, Pug.
Jump out, that's it.
Alright.
Twerk at it! Twerk at it!
No, this requires more finesse. What I'm gonna do is jump out, yell booga booga, and then grab the deer.
Hang on, I'm sorry, I just need to write these quotes down. This requires more finesse than twerking. And I'm going to jump out and shout boogaloo galoo galoo.
Booga booga.
Alright. For the audio edit, the Belgarath just put the buck stops here, and Arissa put up a picture, which I'll try and include. Alright, so how does your grapple go, Pug?
It's strength.
Yes, unless if you have any grapple proficiencies or anything in your thing.
Okay, so I got 11 on strength check.
All right.
Hold on, let me see, because I have Moxie.
Yeah, I'm gonna say because of the way you managed to stealth up on it. There's a full gif now of this man attacking the deer. Sorry. So because you nat 20 spotted it, and because you nat 20 snook up on it, I'm gonna say the 11 is enough for you to grapple it simply because it has no idea you're there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, so you have now grappled it. What do you want to do? Or are you just grappling it and waiting for someone else? Or are you going to try and finish him?
I'm going to bring the deer back to camp.
Okay.
While it's alive,
Yeah.
and trying to get out of your grapple.
Yeah, why not?
Alright.
Basically, I have Eldritch Rest ready to kill it in case it tries to escape.
Yeah, do that. Yeah, in case it's not going to escape for that.
Alright. Roll me another strength check as you're dragging it back then.
Alright. Oh, and that's a nat 20 again.
Good God. We all need your loaded dice. Okay, yeah, you've got it, you grapple it, you manage to, okay, you guys who are still in the clearing, you look up at the sound of a scuffle, and you see the legs of a triumphant half-elf as he waddles back into the clearing, holding around the middle and aloft a medium-sized male deer. Around the middle, as if you just picked up, a dog around the middle and are, holding it. Like a kid holding a puppy around the middle, but it's like a massive deer.
And it is struggling.
Yeah, it's
trying to
struggling.
kick him.
And what noise does a deer make? I think we all learned something today.
My cat looked at me like I'm crazy.
Do you need to kill it with one of my axes?
Hey guys, I brought dinner.
Now, Kentwell, I know it's an expert in hunting, but I'm pretty sure there is a pretty crucial step that you've missed.
Yeah, Pug, I'm fairly sure that thing needs to bleed out first.
Or even
We'll get to killing. I got it. You kill it.
Just saying, Kiara has axes, guys.
Well, great. Okay, well, thank you for bringing us dinner. Slow assembly required.
Just go for it.
Alright, roll a strength. Just a strength, because it's struggling a bit, but you should be okay.
Wait, who, me?
No, you're okay. You're still holding it because you rolled a nat 20. Kiara, roll a strength to smush it with your axe.
23.
Okay, yeah, the head's off. It's dead.
Nice.
Is nice and clean.
You know, it's just normally how squishlings hunt in the wild. I mean, you could just actually shoot the deer and then cut its throat.
I agree that would be the more sensible thing to do, wouldn't it? And that is usually, as far as I'm aware, what you do.
I'm from the city. I never hunted before.
I can see that.
This is how
I lived in a friggin' monastery,
Wrestling
mate.
bears and
What's
stuff, right?
no excuse?
Well, at least I learn a new thing every day.
So, do you guys want to eat this deer, skin and hide this deer? What do you fancy doing with it?
Well, even if you want to eat it, you have to...
Does anyone know the correct method for skinning and curing a deer?
Someone with survival mind.
She's not.
That's it.
Yeah, I've got a 2 into it. Probably won't be me.
I have survival.
Me too. Nice tune survival.
Okay, so those of you with survival, you can cut this deer up and prepare it to be eaten and cooked.
I'll go for water. And tell the others about the stream that we found.
I'll give it a go.
That's what you want to do.
Alright, so the deer is cooking. There is like skin and things that have come off it as well. Does anyone want to do anything with the hide?
No, I'm good.
Anyone who has no bed, that might be a good idea.
I can probably use a hide and make something out of it. Maybe.
Yeah? I mean, you can do. I mean, by all means, you don't have to.
I think I want to use the skin to keep it in case my armor gets damaged, so I can fix it with it.
Okay.
I have the tools for it.
Okay. So, did you guys want to do anything over the few hours of the evening while you eat dinner and stuff?
Can I fill my water skin from the stream?
Yeah? Yeah?
Yes, please.
I'm going to say everyone can do that, so you've all got like
Yeah.
water rations and stuff now. And you will have a hearty meal with deer stew and like vegetables and stuff in it. You make a bit of a broth from the veggies you had and things. So you all sit around the campfire and you chomp on that for it. And the evening passes and there's a few hours. You can hear the occasional scuttle of animals around you. Nothing else disturbs you particularly.
Awesome.
Okay, so you finish your meals, pack everything away, and prepare to sleep for the evening. You're lying fairly close together around the fire. Does anyone want to keep watch while the rest of you take a nap?
Well, we should.
I'll take first.
Yeah, divide up watch.
Yeah?
Sounds sensible.
So, who's having the first watch, sorry?
Marissa just hold it.
Arissa. Okay. So, just Arissa for the first one, yeah?
Arissa keeping watch. I think that's a bad idea.
Then I stay with her.
I'll watch with her.
Oh,
Well, if Arissa and Belgrath take the first one, then Kess, you can have the second one if you want.
Okay, I'm okay for the second watch.
Okay, I'm going to say you only really need 2 to 3, so who wants to have the third watch?
I will.
Kiara? Alright, Kiara will have third watch.
Sweet, I get my beauty rest.
Yeah, Pug's like, hell no. I brought a deer. I've done for the day.
Done more than enough for you losers.
Alright, so as Enna, Pug, Kess, and Kiara drift into an uneasy but eventually deep sleep, Arissa and Belgarath sit up around the fire, occasionally the only movement reaching forward to put another log or two on the stoked fire. Can you each roll me a perception?
Okay.
You want it.
7.
Okay. Arissa, everything's fine. The woods are fairly silent, a little bit creepy for your liking, but silent.
Sorry, I'm having to get one. Oh, natural 20.
Alright, Balgarath, you hear occasional footsteps, or what you think are footsteps. It could be an animal, it could be a person, but it's far away. You just catch it on the edge of your, I was going to say vision, but that's not what it is. On the edge of your listening wall.
Edge of my hearing.
Edge of your hearing. There you go, that's the word I was looking for. And occasionally you hear animals and bugs, and at one point you get a bit startled because you hear a rustling just behind your ear, and you realise that it's just a little bug that's crawled up your shoulder and then flies away. But other than that, you're alright. And Cass is taking the next watch, so Arissa and Belgarath, you guys fall into a sleep. Cass...
Is the fire still going?
Yep, fire's still going. And there's still quite a lot of wood and sticks
I
and
would
things.
like to tell Kest about the battle I think I did with the darkness.
Yeah.
You may do so.
Okay. As we pass by Kest in the direction of Hometown, friggin' dog move. Okay, so as we move past Kest on our on my direction of defense, I just turned through and let her know that while we were on watch, I think I heard footsteps in the darkness. Might have been nothing, but just keep a listen out for it.
Oh. The warning is most welcome.
Okay. I'm heading to bed.
Arissa kind of gets a roll, but she would.
Aw, okay. Well, if Arissa doesn't sleep very well, you might be a bit exhausted in the morning, but you should be alright. Okay, so Cass, can you roll me a perception for your watch?
That's a 13.
Okay. The woods seem fairly silent. You hear the occasional sound of an animal or a fluttering bird, and you think at one point you hear a distant sort of roar, but nothing that seems particularly close to you, nothing that grabs your immediate attention. The rest of your watch passes, the fire, you keep stoking it, you keep warm, everyone sleeps around you, Arissa quietly breathing heavily, sobbing into herself.
Into herself.
Sobbing into herself.
Yep, it's a thing.
Sobbing quietly.
Quietly. Unless you want to be really loud, what do you think?
Unless.
Okay, so Cass, the rest of your watch goes by fine,
Yeah,
and
well,
Rosie.
yeah,
You kind of said unless, and then you kind of went silent.
I said unless you want to be loud.
No, she'll be quiet.
Sorry.
Sorry. Okay, so Cass, the rest of your watch, nothing happens. The fire is lit. Kiara, you awake or are woken up by Cass, and you can take your watch. And Cass, are you going back to sleep?
Yes.
Yeah.
I probably needed to level up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so after this night, we'll be leveling up, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Alright, Kiara, roll me your perception for your watch.
Okay. 21.
Ooh, nice. Alright. You hear what you think is a distant roar somewhere far off in the depths of the forest. Almost like a bear that's a mile away. You also hear what you think sounds like footsteps or some sort of large animal moving, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 1 moving very quickly. But again, far off, just on the edge of your ability to hear it. And again, you hear some bugs and some animals, some birds flutter across the trees ahead. But the rest of the woods is fairly silent. You keep the fire going and you carry on with your watch. So, all of you, it now being the morning, awaken. Except for Kiara, who was already awake, obviously. And
I think she died or something.
before you do, could everybody who slept... So, Arissa, did you not sleep at all? No.
If I did, it wasn't well.
Okay. Alright, so everybody except Arissa, could you just roll me a d20?
Like these dice.
Oh.
Yeah.
1...
I got a 4.
You didn't go on, so.
16. Okay. And was that 17 for Kers, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So it was a 1 for Kiara, 17 Kers, 19 Pug, 4 Enna, nothing because Arissa wasn't asleep properly, and 16 for Belgarath. Alright.
Yeah.
Kiara and Enna, you have nightmares as you're asleep that night. You dream of a dark room somewhere far away, and it makes you feel sad and empty and alone. And you feel trapped and lost, and as if all hope has gone from your world, and all you want is to reach through the world and get back to where you came from. The room is dark and it's lit by red glowing candles, and it feels like fire, but it's cold and dark and silent. And you see some sort of shape in the middle of the room. And you know somehow that you're trapped within this shape. There are bars. It's long. You feel that you're on your back, and all you can see are bars and red flame and darkness. Belgarath, yes, you recover from your necrotic damage now that you've slept.
Cool.
And Belgarath and Kess, you have one uneasy dream where you feel a horrific sadness and a great loss and a pain and a rage all at the same time, but you can't quite put your finger on why. And when you wake up, you don't remember a great deal except how you felt in the dream. Pug, you dreamed of busty princesses and lollipops as big as your head, and you dreamed that you met a girl made entirely of marshmallow s'mores,
And then punch her in the face.
and you punched her in the face, and she exploded cream everywhere, and you ate it. It was great.
Oh my.
It was great.
God. It started out good, but now it's getting kind of kinky, and it might be better.
I like to put them in combination for you guys. Alright, Cass, were you asking me something? Sorry, was someone asking something?
I did want to ask if these sort of dreams are normal or not.
Not for you, no. You remember that you may have had a dream similar, where you felt a similar way over the years, but you don't remember anything about it, so you couldn't put your finger on whether you've had it before.
Okay.
Alright, so you guys awaken, or in the case of Arissa, realise that it's sort of morning. And there is some leftover stew that you can have if you want to have some sort of breakfast. And there's the stream if anyone fancies a wash or some more water. And yeah, so you can decide, what are you going to do?
I partake of the stew. I drink some water. I wash my foot, and I'm ready to go.
Awesome.
Oh
Alright.
my gosh, I had the best dream last night. There was whipped cream and marshmallows and women everywhere.
That sounds pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
Did you put anything strange into yours too?
Only recreationally.
I'm not going to tell anyone about my dream. Stay silent.
Okay, so what do you guys want to do the rest of your day? Do you want to make camp? Do you want to stay? Do you want to press on? What do you want to do?
I want to keep going.
We're heading towards the
Yeah,
nest.
let's keep
Yeah,
going.
that's good.
All right. Most of you are fairly competent at navigating, I'm going to say. So because you're trying to head towards, you're heading towards like the capital area, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, marvellous. All right, so you've entered the wood pass right outside Savis, and you're heading downwards, and for you guys, you're heading towards the left. If you were looking at it from a map, you'd be making a curve to the right. But as far as you guys are concerned, you're curving to the left so you can head through and round to the capital. This also means that you avoid the bulk of the woods, which stretch downwards towards the Whispering Marshes and the town of Gotten. So you're hoping you'll avoid too many potential ambushes, bandit groups, this, that, the other, by going this way too. Hopefully. So, as you press on, do you want to be in marching order? Who wants to go at the front, the back, etc., etc.? Arissa, how are you doing today as well?
Still sad.
Aww. Oh, Arissa! I forgot.
Yeah.
You found something in your pocket, but I will come back to that in 2 seconds because I just need to double check what it was from my notes. So
Okay.
continue with your marching order, but don't let me forget.
In which case, very sad.
So your marching order, who's going at the front, etc.
I'm going at the front.
I'll go behind him.
I'm happy to be at the back.
Okay. So Pug, Belgarath, you were near the front, Kess near the back, Enna, Kiara, the middle, and Arissa wandering.
Yeah, sounds about right. Yep.
All right, awesome. So you march on through the woods, and could everyone make a perception check for me, please?
Oh God. So, yeah, that's 8 with advantage.
Somehow in my grief, I'm more perceptive. The tears
I'm on fire today.
15 for me as well.
Okay, so... Okay, you've all done fairly alright. You've all done okay. So, you spot, again, some... They're not pathways through the trees. They're too untrodden and dense for that. But you do find that there are picketed ways through. So, you find maybe some brambles have been pushed aside, worn down from where people have walked through them. And you get the impression that maybe hunters, maybe groups of people, maybe bandits, who knows. Some people have been walking these woods and know them quite well and have walked the same way through them. And it makes it easier because you can pick your way through following the paths and winding through. You don't get stuck in a bog, which you would have done if you'd missed the turning for a rather large tree. You managed to skirt around it. And you managed to keep your shoes and your clothes fairly well sorted. And you walk on for the better part of the morning and chomp on maybe some of your rations when it gets through to lunchtime. And you realise that the trees are thinning out again, and far off through them in the distance you can see a sort of speck of grey light, which, again, it being Travis, it's not going to be bright light, but you do realise you're heading in the right direction. You're coming to the edge of the forest. It'll be another few hours, but it's off there, it's in the distance, you can see it.
Awesome. We're going the right way, guys.
Excellent.
Alright, so, did anyone want to do anything as you're walking along, etc., etc.? Just to give you a moment to play yourselves.
What is it that I found?
I am not sure yet. I will go back to you.
Excellent.
I've got to check because I don't want to tell you the wrong thing.
Well, I think we can relevant in the next few seconds.
It's not. No, it's not. It's more like a little. It's a small thing, but I'm just checking. So, did anyone want to do anything particular as you're walking through? No.
No. I'm good.
Pug doesn't want to go and jump on a squirrel or something? Man, I'm disappointed.
I'm a little bit interested on the passageways, or what was it?
Pug, are you sure you don't want to go see like some badger or something?
Say again?
You sure you don't want to go sleep next to badger or something?
No, I don't need any badgers. I'm good.
Oh, you're good.
Unless that badger has a magic necklace, a magic sword, or something, I don't need to deal with it.
Fair enough.
Alright, Pug,
Yes.
please roll me a perception.
Oh boy.
In fact, everyone roll a perception, but Pug, you roll it first.
Perception. That is 9.
Okay. Okay, Pug,
Yes.
can you please also roll me a...
Strength, right?
No.
Wisdom.
Yeah, can you please roll me a wisdom?
Wisdom?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a saving throw, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Fun times.
Oh, and that's funny, baby.
Alright, Pug. And everyone, as soon as you see Pug looking, because Pug, you spot this, and everyone else then looks and spots it too. Pug, you spot something shiny out the corner of your eye. And everyone else, seeing him turn into an almost magpie and like turn his head whoosh, to look at something. Pug, you take a couple of steps forward and you see that there is something shiny. And it glitters and glows like it's magical. And it's in a
It's like
small
it's like
small clearing off to your right. And you can't quite see where through the trees, but you can just catch every sort of in this shiny glint. Now, it pulls on your heart and your brain, and you think, ooh. But that's it. You're not compelled to go and look at it, but you do think, ooh, shiny.
let's go investigate that.
Alright.
Yeah, sounds good.
Alright, everyone else, you also spotted this after you saw Pug looking at it.
Yeah.
Are you gonna follow him, or are you going
It
to...
sounds like a trap, so I'm stealthing.
Okay. You can roll me stealth, and everyone else, are you following? What are you doing?
I kind of want to follow,
Alright. At a safe distance, or are you gonna go right beside him?
like right beside him.
Alright.
I'll follow the state.
Can I do an Arcana check just to see if anything magical is
Sure.
bothering me about it? Fuck it. Oh my god, these are the best dice. At 20.
Alright, 1
I'm
minute.
not even joking. I
These
swear.
seem like loaded dice.
If only Timo had had these rolls.
Alright, so give me 1 second. I'm just drawing this out for myself so I know where you all are. Okay, Cass, you're 13. That does it. You can stealth. You're behind some trees on the outskirts of this clearing. It's only small, about like maybe 10 foot from one side to the other and 20 across. So from the side you're looking at it, there's about 20 feet to the other side, but it's only about 10 feet across. So you're now in the tree line on the edge looking in. Pug and Kiara, you are now entering the clearing. Belgarath and Orissa, you have stayed back. Are you following, but at a distance, you said, yeah?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I'm just kind of
Okay. Orissa, you are just following because people have, oh, they've turned, says your brain. And you just turn and follow them, still sort of thinking.
There is
And-
no point.
and
No anything.
and Enna, how far back did you want to be?
I was going with Pug.
Enna's going with Pug
Yeah.
as well. Okay. Pug, you're accompanied by a moon elf and a dwarf.
Oh, I'm
Awesome.
going with Pug.
Did my nat 20 in Arcana?
Oh yeah, hang on, sorry.
Larry.
Kiara, I've moved you back, sorry. You're not as close as I put you. You're further back, that's a bit better for you.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hang back.
And Orissa, while you're wandering through, you put your hand in your top pocket and you find a bundle of herbs that are like Varric's favourite herbs that he's tied in a little ribbon and he put in your pocket.
I should
Oh,
start crying.
and some gold. Apparently he left you some gold too.
How much?
I'm gonna say 5, why not?
Sorry?
I'm gonna say 5.
Okay, yeah. When she finds the pads, she kind of starts crying.
Yeah. Just out of character, he gave those to you when you guys were left unconscious in the room while the guys went out to sort the scarecrows out. So
Yeah.
these are healing herbs. So next time you want to heal, you can use those and you can have advantage on your heal, I think. Actually, no, you can just heal yourself. You don't need to take a point. You can just do it.
Okay, is it just a one use kind of thing that I've got at the moment?
Yeah, it's like a small bundle of them tied in a ribbon.
Yeah, start crying.
Quietly. Or loudly.
No,
How loud do you want to be?
It's not sobbing. Just go
Alright. Belgarath, Enna, and Pug, and Kiara, you become very aware that Arista's making a bit of noise behind you. But not a great deal of noise, just, noticeable noise. Cass, you're around the other side, so you hear it a bit, but it doesn't really bother you yet. Pug, with your 20 to Arcana, you spot a shiny. A shiny. Oh, it's shiny. Oh, it's magic-y. You can see it glowing. It's glowing like a bright blue, and it's shiny. And as you get closer...
Oh my god, it's so enticing.
it's magic. It's definitely a magical item.
Oh, I need it in my pocket right now.
And you get further into the clearing and you see in the middle of the clearing is a small pool. And the shiny is at the bottom of the pool.
How deep is this pool?
It's silver and shiny, and it's about twice as deep as you, maybe 3 times. So if you're like just under 6 foot, it's probably around 20 feet deep, something like that. And it's quite clear water, fairly see-through. But the shiny,
Alright.
the shiny is a sword. A silver sword. And it's glowing with, like, magic.
Sword, really? Okay. Alright. I'm going to see if I can toss a rock into the water. Because I'm smarter than the average half-elf. And I ain't getting fooled again.
I love how he says, again.
It's happened before.
Like, the damn lady of the lake, she tried to trick me before. It's not happening again. Okay, so you throw just a stone into the water, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. It sinks to the bottom.
Okay. Do we have, like, rope or something?
I've got some rope.
Alright. Here's what we're gonna do. We are going to tie that rope around my waist. I'm gonna jump in. You're gonna hold the other end of that rope. And if anything happens, pull me up.
Okay, as long as it's not a waste.
Who's the strongest out of us?
Me.
Yeah, probably.
I'm the strongest, I'm the smartest, I'm going down there.
Who's the strongest zombie going into the water? Who's not going into the water?
I'm probably up there.
Okay, we'll probably have you in the front of the pulling through then.
Yeah, okay.
Alright, so your plan is to lower Pug. Well, Pug, you're going to swim down with it tied around you. And then
I
they're
believe
gonna,
that is.
and then you're going to pull him out, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, who's pulling him out?
I will.
Okay, get everyone, come on, Sharon is Karen.
Okay, so who is at the front of the rope pulling him up? Hang on. Turning down my sound effects. There we go. Alright, so who's going to go at the front of the rope?
I'll go. You're fasting.
Yeah? Is that Kiara?
Yep.
Okay, Kiara's at the front. Okay, is anyone else hanging onto this rope? Does anyone care?
Yeah, I'll hang on to it.
Alright,
Thanks, Cass.
Kiara and Cass, are you just still in the tree line skulking? So Cass, are you just gonna like keep a lookout and not do anything?
Oh yeah, I'm keeping a lookout.
Okay, Cass can keep a lookout over here. I'm just drawing a little diagram. There you go. Right, Cass, the only sensible member of your party. Okay, Arissa, are you gonna help pull the thingy? Oh no, she's back soon. All right, Arissa is going to stand there staring at the thing in her hand and be very sad. Belgarath, are you gonna help or are you gonna hinder?
I will help.
He says begrudgingly. So Belgarath, are you gonna go right on the end of the rope?
Oh, hell's yeah.
Okay. Belgarath is right on the end of the rope, holding on very limply with one pinky finger.
I'm not that interested in helping. Yeah, alright.
Okay, so Pug, you lower into the pool, and could you please? I forget we're not in 3rd edition, so you haven't literally got a thing for swimming. Can you make an athletics to swim to the bottom?
Athletics I can do. Oh, well, not this time, apparently. I have
7.
7 athletics.
Alright. This is quite tough. Like, the water is pretty...
Just going to drown.
The water's pretty cold, and like... The water is pretty cold, and it's unpleasant and not great, but you're making progress, but it's taking longer than you would have liked, and you find yourself hoping that no one is really watching and judging you, and that they're just focusing on holding the rope.
Totally watching and judging you.
Cass, Belgarath, are you focusing on the pool Or are you focusing on Orisa, or are you focusing on your surroundings?
Well, Orisa doesn't seem to be doing anything. And so I'll be, I don't know, watching the pool, I suppose.
Watching the pool. Okay. Cass, can you make me a perception check, please?
Yeah. If I can find my dice. Oh, I found it.
Okay, what did you get, Cass?
Oh my god.
A 5.
Yes. That's an advantage.
Okay, cool. Nothing's going on. It's all great.
Yeah. And I'm completely judging Pug as he's struggling in a pond.
Yeah.
You're far away. You can't see me.
Alright, yeah.
She's
But I have
judging
keen
based.
dragon eye eyes.
She's judging based on the fact that you haven't come back up again yet.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right, Pug. Can you make me another swimming check? So another athletics.
Athletics. Yeah. Fuck. All right, 10.
10. Okay, you reach the bottom of the pool, but you find that you're sort of naturally starting to float upwards, and you have to keep propelling yourself down. But you can see the sword. It's just, it's like sticking into the mud and muck at the bottom of the pond. So, propelling yourself downwards towards it. What do you want to do?
Okay. I also want to say punch the sword, but
Why?
so maybe like break it out of the mud. All right. So can I grab it? Is it within reach?
It's within reach. Yeah. You have to make a strength check to pull it out of the mud, and I'm gonna say do it with disadvantage because you have to keep backpedaling to propel yourself downwards to get to it.
Right. All right. Let me do that. Fuck. All right. 12.
Okay. It budges part of the way. You can feel it sliding through the muck. You're gonna need to do another strength check to get it out again, though.
Got another one?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, this one is a 13.
Okay. Yeah. You succeed. You get it out. Okay, you now hold in your hand a silver sword. It's a short sword, but it's fairly sharp, and however long it's been under this water, it doesn't seem to have taken any damage. It's not rusted, it's still sharp. It's not blunt, it hasn't... In fact, as you pull it out of the mud, it doesn't even appear particularly dirty. There's nothing stuck to it at all. The water almost just slides past it. And you see that the glowing magic all around it is a bright blue, and it has several tiny bright blue gemstones running along the blade.
Nice.
Oh yeah, how long can Pug hold his breath?
I was about to say that. Hey, Pug! Hey, Pug, can you please roll me a... Yeah, just a straight constitution, because there's nothing really, like, nothing you would really add to it. I mean, survival maybe, but I'm just going to say roll a straight constitution for now.
Alright. Fucking shit. 5.
Okay, as you manage to pull the sword out and you start staring at it, your vision goes a bit blurry and a giant bubble comes out of your mouth and you realise, oh fuck, I can't breathe. Oh fuck. Shit. So...
Can I plug on the rope?
Yeah, make a strength check because you're holding the sword and propelling yourself and you're a bit fatigued from lack of breath.
This one has normal advantage?
If you get a natural advantage on it, take it away and just do it as a straight strength.
You cut out, so
If you get an advantage to it, take everything off. Just add your strength mod. Don't take any advantages or anything.
So just straight strength.
Yeah, just straight strength.
This one's good. 21.
Okay, 21. That's all right. So Anna, Belgarath, and Kiara, you feel a small tug on the rope.
Right, we should probably feed him out then.
All right. So can all three of you make strength checks, please? With advantage, because you're all helping each other, actually.
Okay.
What's the advantage again?
It means you roll twice and take the highest number.
Ah, okay.
Oh my god. 9.
Okay, 9, that's okay.
I got 19. Woo!
Woo!
Not drowning yet.
And Belgarath?
14.
Okay, yeah. Even with a 9, Kiara, that's still good. Like, between all of you, you pull him up, and Pug, you break the top of the water and take a deep breath, and your lungs fill with air, and you can see again. And the sword,
Nice.
as soon as you get out of the water and onto the bank with the sword gets a lot heavier as soon as it's in the air rather than in the water.
Okay. So am I still strong enough to hold it?
Yes, you can lift it.
Okay, awesome. Look what I found, guys!
Well, that's cool.
And I hold it up triumphantly above my head.
Okay. Can... Say again.
I was just wondering did anything happen when they came out of the water?
Not when they came out
Around
of
the
the water.
clearing.
No, not when they came out of the water.
Okay.
So, can everybody roll me a perception now, please?
15.
Mm-hmm.
17.
That one.
Okay. Oh, so Belgarth got a 1, and it got a 6. Oh, I don't know why you're hiding your face in the emoji. Belgarth got a 1. It's fine.
Yeah.
I
think Bargath is just looking at the sword.
Yeah, Belgarth.
Shiny.
Belgarth is staring at the sword, going, "How are you not dead, motherfucker?" Looking at Pug.
It's my shiny back off.
Okay. Anna, you are also sort of looking at the sword in a puzzled and sort of quizzically interested kind of thing. And Kiara, similar thing. You're looking at what the feats of your labour have got you, and you're thinking, "Wow, that's glowing very blue." Pug and Kess, you manage to take your eyes off the sword for a moment, and you feel, rather than see it, you feel like a gust of wind sweep around the clearing, and it sort of brushes Pug's cheek, and Kess, you feel it catch your hair as you sit, like, crouch in the tree line, and
Kess's hair.
Kess's scales, sorry. Scaly hair, scaly.
The dragonborns still have hair.
You can do. By all means have hair. Don't let Pug stop you.
It's on
You
the
can have a
back
full
first.
head of hair if you want.
So obviously Pug wouldn't know because it was always hidden.
Ah, there you go.
There we go.
Well, it brushes against you, and you feel this breeze. It's not hot, it's not cold, but it's definitely strong, and you feel it whip past you. And Cass and Pug, you then notice that the water in the pool has started to foam a little bit and froth, and ripples are running around it in concentric tight circles, getting closer and closer to the middle. And all of you look up as you hear a small, This sentence is going to sound weird, but bear with me. A small eruption from the pond. And by that I mean it's not like a it's not like a volcanic explosion, water everywhere. It's the middle of the pond. The water cascades suddenly upwards in a big jet. And you all look up now and see
like a small mini geyser.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like geyser. Yes.
And magically the place turns into a spa. And yeah.
Yeah.
And as it shoots up into the air, you suddenly see the clouds turn white and fluffy. And the day becomes brighter and more blue. And you can almost hear birdsong in the background. And
I balk at this. It's good I'm in the shadows.
Yeah, you can almost hear birdsong in the background, and the day is suddenly quite pleasant and almost warm, and you can feel sunlight dappled around across your faces, and it feels quite pleasant. Even Cass, you're still in the trees.
The shadows, yeah, in the trees. I'm okay for now.
And suddenly, yeah, everything feels quite tranquil and peaceful and pleasant and nice. And I don't know why you're all saying, uh-oh, this is the nicest thing that's happened to you in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. It's something bad is right about to happen.
Yeah, it's weird. It's so nice.
Okay, so you all notice this. You all notice this. And yeah, nothing else happens for a few moments, so I'll let you guys all take this in. Play.
Yeah, the place just turned horrible. It's not good.
Okay. So I want to identify my shiny sword.
Okay, what are you going to do?
Can anybody here help me with that?
If you have any sort of arcana, you could have a go yourself. Anyone who has arcana, you could do like an arcana check or something.
Arcana as in proficiency in arcana?
Yeah.
No.
Do I hear a dog desperately trying to join in?
You do, yes.
I want to play, I want to play, I want to play!
I don't think you can hold the dice.
Okay, so, who was doing the arcana check on the sword?
Oh, not me.
Pug, you can try.
Alright, let me try to identify my points.
Do you have any points in arcana?
I have 1 point in Arcana,
Alright, that may have to
which
do.
gives me a 20 in Arcana.
Okay, that wasn't natural, right?
No, it's not natural.
But it was a 19 though, if you added 1, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty good, man. Give me 1 second.
I found mine.
Enjoy the bird song, are you?
Oh, that's nice.
Well, that's just pleasant.
Metro piece is getting nicer and nicer every day.
Okay, so, Pug, you have no idea, given that you grew up in the underground fighting pits and spent most of your life dealing with that sort of thing, but you have grown interested in magic artifacts, and as such, you've heard of a few things. You don't know exactly what this is, but you know that it seems to come from some sort of deity, because as you look closer at it, the way the jewels are laid out is in a very particular pattern, and it magically changes to, what would you say your first language was? Would you say it was Common or Elvish?
Elvish.
Elvish. Then you read it and you know it's changed to Elvish. And it says, and I'm going to type this for you as well. Hang on. It says in Elvish, Eastlayer, which I've typed for you. And you just get a feeling, an instant feeling, because of how the magic's working and the way the sword is untouched and clean. This is some sort of deity blessing upon this sword, and it's glowing with magic. You can't tell what the magic does, but that's the feeling you get from it.
Okay, so it's good. Do I know what Eastlia means in English common?
Very vaguely, you know it's something potentially to do with a deity. You've never heard of a deity named Eastlayer, but that doesn't mean there doesn't exist one. You just never heard of it before.
Okay.
It does, when you read it, when you look at it, it fills you with a feeling of hope and almost like chivalry.
Oh, that does not sound like me at all.
Yeah, it's very weird. It's a very weird feeling for you, and it takes a while to work out what it is that you're feeling. But yeah, you're feeling fairly chivalrous when you hold this sword.
Oh, alright.
Feeling
Is there anyone... Oh, sorry.
Okay, so we are near the end of the forest, right?
Yeah, it'll be another couple of hours, but yeah, you're getting quite close.
Alright. I want to continue, but I want to let the ladies go.
He's going to courageously let the ladies go first.
What? He's going to what?
You're gonna let the ladies go first. Chivalry, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I'll probably come out of hiding at this point. And oh yeah, I would say that sword seems unnatural. I think it should go back where it came from. This clearing
I value your
kind of
opinion.
horrible.
I value your opinion, but I think it's going to be very valuable. So I want to keep it and maybe sell it. We'll see how I feel. For a chivalrously high price.
It had a very strange effect on this clearing. Are you sure it's not going to have some sort of effect on yourself?
Actually, you notice as you look at him that Pug's skin is shinier and brighter, and his hair is looking very clean and well swept, and his moustache has never looked twirlier.
You look quite bad. Maybe you should put it back.
I don't know, I think I feel kind of dashing right.
He does. He looks very dashing.
You squish legs. Just don't make sense.
It disgusts the Dragonborn.
It disgusts me.
Would you like to touch it, Skiles?
Sorry,
Just to
what
clarify, are you offering for her to touch the sword or your moustache?
Say again.
Do you want her to touch the sword or your moustache?
Oh, no.
Metal first.
I'm going to bring the dark one. His moustache/sword.
So, Cass, are you going to touch the sword or the moustache?
I feel like there's no right answer here.
Yeah, I'm not sure I want to touch that thing. Either of them.
Could be anything.
You're not the first
To me,
thing
that sword doesn't look right.
Cass, the sword to you is shiny and a bit too bright, but
Yes, exactly.
interesting nonetheless. Your eyes are drawn to it fairly often. No matter how disgusted you are at its brightness, it appeals to you in an very intriguing way.
Fine, I will investigate it. I've not touched it.
Investigate with your hands, not with your eyes.
My goodness.
So, do you want to roll an investigation on the sword?
Yeah.
Okay. And are you looking or are you touching? Tell me where the bad lady touched your sword.
Oh my god, my son is so
Oh my god. I rolled a natural.
Okay. You lean forward to look at the sword and you don't manage to read the name written on it because Pug, at the same time, you lift it to show her and you smack her in the head with it. And she takes a point of damage.
Wait, what did
Oh
you
my
say again?
gosh.
Pug, you lifted the sword while she was peering at it, but she peered a bit quicker than you were expecting and you bonked her on the head with it.
Oh, sad.
And she takes 1 point of damage, and Pug, as she takes damage from the sword, it's not like a slash, it's just a tap. You see her forehead glow bright blue, and a streak of bright blue runs across her forehead like it would open a cut, but then it disappears.
Oi,
Oh,
be
I'm
more
sorry, my lady.
careful
Let me
with
get
that
you a band.
swishling.
Being extra chivalrous.
Yeah, Pug, you do feel very chivalrous at the moment. It doesn't overpower you, but you do feel, gosh, I should do something heroic,
Let me tear off a piece of my shirt. It's a fashion beat.
Alright, Kaz, the little half-elf, rips off a piece of his shirt and ties it, attempts to tie it around your forehead like a big bandage.
I don't want that disgusting thing on me.
Alright, so, everyone else, what are you up to? Are you just watching this commotion? Are you laughing?
Yeah, I'm just kind of.
I know.
Alright, most people are just laughing at you then. Alright, so,
This sword is definitely bad news. We should get rid of it.
Oh, you know you don't know. You accidentally whacked you on the head.
so
Yeah,
you're
you're just
gonna,
mad because you got a bonk.
so are you gonna press on and carry on towards the edge of the forest?
I want to keep going towards the end.
Yeah. Alright, cool.
Yeah.
So, as you guys exit the clearing and head back on the sort of path trail you were on, can you roll me a perception, everyone, as you're leaving the clearing?
Nat 28.
Ooh, Pug. Ooh, and a 20 for Cass as well. 9 for Kiara. Arista got 13. And I got a 6. It's not that bad. And, and that 20 for Belgrath as well. Go you. Alright.
Nice.
To be fair, all of you see this. As you exit the clearing, it goes back to its grey, sort of dingy state and overcast. The trees look all solemn and grey again. The leaves are dull reddy blue. And you think, wow, okay.
That's depressing.
But you then notice that the sky above you is still fairly bright. And you can
Oh my gosh.
you can still hear some bird song. And the brightness and warmth of the clearing has gone with you. And it's almost lighting your way as you exit the forest.
That sword is disgusting. I'm not going with you if you keep it.
Well, I need to sell it.
Cover it up at least.
Do I have a scabbard or something?
You could make sort of you could make a makeshift one out of like your pack and like the bit of ripped cloth you've got off your top and stuff.
I'll try to wrap that around it, and I'll show the rest of my backpack.
Okay, you wrap the sword up and you put it in your backpack. When you let go of it, you feel slightly less chivalrous and more back to yourself, but the memory of it still sticks with you. And your mind every so often goes back to just check, double check. You always check that the sword is still there, it's still secure in your backpack. The sunlight above you fades a bit, and it seems to go back to a grayer, more Travisy state. And
Alright.
you press on.
I shout, alright, you fox. Let's go.
Alright.
Finally, much better.
Just as you're getting to the very edge of the forest, let me decide. In fact, let the dice decide. Hang on. How many of you are there? There's Arissa, Belgar, Fonty, Anna, Cass, Kiara, and Pug. 6. Alright. 3. 1, 2, 3. Anna!
Yes.
Hello!
Hello.
As you're getting to the edge of the forest, something small and furry with sharp claws lands on the top of your head and starts scrabbling away at your head.
Okay.
Oh God, it's a dire weasel. Not again. Not again. Not again. I went to quite all party wiping because of a dire weasel.
Okay.
I lost an entire party to a dire weasel, man. It wasn't good. It wasn't good.
I actually did. I did lose an entire party to it once.
Including yourself?
Including myself.
Oh. So yeah, Anna, what do you want to do?
Yes.
Nice.
Anna, do you scream or do you scream?
I kind of want to try and like pet it and like take it off my head into my arms and continue petting it.
All right, animal handling, please.
Yes. Oh yay, 19.
All right. You manage to grab the small, scuffling, fluffy thing off the top of your head, and Vetheritas, I am using that picture, and you manage to cradle it in your arms and stroke it and stroke it. The thing is struggling and not happy, but sort of cannot help but enjoy the strokes.
You've got a little snack there.
Enjoys the strokes.
And you see, as it flails around in your arms, it appears to be a grey squirrel.
Okay.
But ironically, as the photo suggests, it hasn't got a shield and full armor, but it is wearing a helmet made out of like an acorn, like a large acorn, and it's got like...
As a character, Rosie, you just... Is this going to be Reaper Cheap? It's basically going to be Reaper Cheap.
Reaper Cheap was about 4 feet tall. Well, 3 and a bit. So, no, this, like, half a foot tall grey squirrel is not Reaper Cheap. Duh.
But is it going to be up at all?
Maybe. Maybe I'm going to make him talk now, just to annoy you.
Okay.
So, the small struggling squirrel with its fluffy tummy exposed that you are now stroking, deliberately, and it's enjoying the stroke, but struggling. You see that it's wearing armor made out of acorns, just like over its shoulders and over its head. And it's got like sharpened claws, which it's flailing around and occasionally trying to catch you, but... And then you hear a lot of squeaking. And everybody else, can you please roll me perception?
Everyone but me?
Yes.
Okay.
Because you are distracted for the time being.
Was it perception?
Yes.
Everyone?
Yep.
Nice.
I'm loving the pictures
Oh,
that
I
we've got
love
this.
that one.
Alright. Yeah, you all got a bar. Yeah, you're fine. Alright, you all hear responding squeaks coming from the trees surrounding you. And you see other squirrels clad in similar acorn armor with sharpened claws bearing down at you with their eyes and staring down at you from the tops of the trees surrounding you and in front and curling around you, almost blocking your way. And you do hear, amidst this, a tiny voice cry out from the arms of your comrade who is stroking him. I'm being molested! Get him! Get him! Help me! Help me!
And I put the rock down.
Oh, but he's so cute.
Are you gonna keep a hold of him?
I'm keeping a hold of him.
Alright, he's struggling valiantly against your I'm being stroked! And you then see the largest of the grey squirrels dart forwards onto the closest tree and stare down, and you hear a voice say, "Down, boys, and at 'em! Ah!" And can you all roll me initiative, please?
Alright.
Disgusting fluff.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're now fighting a bunch of Wasn't expecting this after the demon scare.
It's a nice change of pace, guys, okay?
Little talking squirrels.
Kiara.
Oh, yeah, so these squirrels are able to talk common.
Yes. Alright.
I think we all had our initiative.
Yep. Alright.
Yeah.
I've written it down. The initiative order goes Enna, Pug, Cass, Belgarath, Kiara, then Arissa. Alrighty. And there will be some squirrels thrown in there too for good measure. Marvellous. Alright. So, top of the round. Enna, what
Yay.
do you want to do?
I've decided to hold on to my squirrel and name him Billy and try and be friends with him.
Okay, so are you going to talk to him? Or are you going to keep stroking and do another sort of like animal handling?
I'll say hello. I'm not molesting you. I'm trying to be friends, and I'd like to be friends.
Alright, he continues to like struggle and weave around in your arms, and he says, "Friends! Friends doing bad touch! Bad touch!" And you can say one more thing to him, and then your turn is up.
You're mine. Say you're mine.
Yeah, I'm bigger, so you can't really do anything. You have to kind of deal with what's happening right now.
You doubt the power of the mighty small squirrel! Ha! And he's gonna nibble your finger for.
Oh.
What is your armor class?
It is 16.
Oh,
On your
okay.
finger.
He nibbles your finger, but he doesn't do any damage. Like
Haha.
he's chomped
Silly
down on your
squirrel.
finger, but you can't really feel it.
Silly Billy. Stop doing that.
Okay. And he says, "My name is not Billy! My name is Quarkick! Ah!" And that's the end of both of your goes for the time being. Okay, and Pug, you're next. But before you can go, a squirrel has now jumped onto your head. And what's your AC? Oh, never mind. It rolled a 4. Never mind.
Okay. So,
So
I don't think that hits.
it's scrabbling at your hair, and you're suddenly very aware that it's like standing on the sword, like balancing on the sword hilt to scrabble at your head.
Okay. So I'm going to reach for this. I'm going to draw out the sword.
You're gonna pull it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh boy.
And I'm going. What happened to the squirrel?
If you pull out the sword, it's gonna get jostled, so it's gonna be on the top of your head.
Okay. So I'm going to raise the sword up into the air and kind of do an intimidation.
Okay.
And yell at the squirrels and tell them to back the fuck up.
Okay. Roll an intimidation.
Ooh, that's good. Okay. That is going to be a 24.
Okay. Yeah. So what do you want to say?
Alright, I gotta be chivalrous.
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
are
tell
feeling
them-
particularly chivalrous now you're holding the sword. But it's up to you what that means.
Right. That means that I'm going to say... Alright, squirrels, back up! We don't want any trouble. We don't want to kill you. But we will if we have to.
Okay. There's another group of squirrels in the trees that were poised, ready to jump after their comrades. And they take like a shuffle back onto their tree branches and like sort of start mumbling between themselves like but we must
Right,
save
right.
Quackig! And the big grey one, who doesn't particularly appear very afraid of you, sort of like claps his claws together and shouts to them all to try and rally them again. And he shouts, "But we must protect Quackig! Everybody, forward!" And only a couple of them managed to listen to him. Okay, next up is Cass. What do you fancy doing?
I will shoot the grey one, the big grey one.
The big grey one, okay.
Yeah.
What are you
Let's
shooting at
blast
him?
it. Ultimate blast.
Okay, roll your damage, and I'm going to roll his armor. Okay.
Yes, I got 1 point of force damage.
Say that again, sorry.
7.
7?
7
Okay.
points of force damage, and I also cast a hex on
Okay.
on it. This is the bonus action. And so you lot will make a little nice snack
Alright.
if you stay around here.
What hex are you casting? And also he...
So, it's hex. So basically, I'll be able to deal extra 1d6 necrotic damage to it.
Okay, is that on the next turn or on this one?
Yeah, next turn.
Okay,
From
cool.
the next turn. And
He...
it will have disadvantage on dexterity. If it's the
Ooh.
one that I choose. On all ability checks with dexterity.
Okay, that's good to know. He's knocked off a couple of your damage points because of his armor, but he did take some.
Okay.
And he's looking very angry about it, and he's glaring at you, Kess. And,
That's
okay,
fine.
Belgarath, it's now your go.
snack.
Kess is like, good, I get to attack small furry things.
Okay.
Stupid furry squishlings.
Why does nobody love my NPCs? Nobody! Okay, so sorry, Belgarath, it's your go.
Okay, building up on Pug's attempt to, cease the violence. I'm going to send a few lightning bolts cracking up around them. Basically, going to go for an intimidation sort of thing.
Okay.
I'm going to try and intimidate them. Not obvious.
Alrighty, so what did you say are you waving a weapon as well? Yeah.
No, I won't be waiting for it. I'll just be using the lightning bolts.
Okay. And what do you want to say? And roll intimidation.
I'm not really good at making up for that. I'll just roll for it.
Okay, roll your intimidation. I can make some shit up for you if you want.
Okay. A 12.
Okay. As you're waving the lightning bolt, it catches the squirrel's attention, but you shout a little offhandedly, "Damn you, squirrels!" And
Okay.
it grabs a couple of their attention, so that they lose focus and they don't jump out of the trees, but you haven't really scared anybody. And where are you firing your lightning bolt?
I wasn't going to fire it. That's the thing. I was just.
Oh, you're just holding it? Okay, cool. You can use it for next turn. You can hold it for that if you want. All right.
Yeah, I'm going to have to help you, aren't I?
Okay. Next up is Kiara, but before it's your go, there is a couple of squirrels.
Okay.
And they both are going to jump down and they're going to land on Belgarath. They've landed on your shoulders because you're the last person who shouted at them.
Okay.
So you've now got a squirrel on each shoulder. And what's your AC?
Well, that's the thing. I was just about to say, I do have a spell. I do have my shield spell, which I can reaction.
Yeah, okay, because you didn't cast your lightning bolt. I'll let you have that one.
Okay, well then I will cast shield as a reaction.
Mm-hmm.
It lasts one round and it gives me +5 to my AC.
Okay, so what's your AC total now then?
Hold on. 18.
Oh! One of them gets you, the other one fucking doesn't. God damn. Alright, one of them is like pulling on your ear and it's uncomfortable, but it doesn't hurt in any way. Like it's not going to cause you any grief. And the other one, oh great, does 2 points of nibbling damage. Woohoo.
Well, that's mildly annoying.
Gosh, this is a mild inconvenience. Okay,
I
so...
feel like what I'm going to have to do my next turn is going to be wildly out of... It's not going to be fair to them.
Okay, so...
What they're doing is reflect on what I'm going to have to do.
Alright, so Kiara, it's now your turn.
Can I try and grab the squirrel out of Anna's hands?
Sure you can. Make a strength check, because she's holding it quite firmly, trying to stroke it.
Okay.
And, can you make a strength check against her as well, to try and keep holding on to it? Anna.
Oh, sorry, say that again?
Can you make a strength check, just
Oh, yes.
so that to see who manages to keep hold of the squirrel? I love the turn this session has taken.
Molesting the poor squirrel.
I'm being molested!
He loves it.
You will love me! Okay, 15. Okay, Kiara, you don't manage to take the squirrel out of her hands, but... Oops, sorry. But you do manage to sort of, like, hold on to it as well, so she can't quite stroke it anymore. So you're now sort of, like, both hanging on to this squirrel. Kiara, did you want to do anything else? I'll let you sort of finish that go if you want.
Can I just ask Anna what she thinks she's going to do with it?
Sure, Anna?
I'm going to make it my baby.
Okay. What?
Yeah, can I echo what?
Is it my turn yet?
No, it's not your turn yet. You can answer them if you want to reply, but you can't do anything at the moment. Oh, all right. So we have Arissa. Arissa, before your turn, a squirrel is now on your head as well. That's the last one's go.
A squirrel sounds.
Yep, you've got one scrabbling on the top of your head, and what's actually no, it's just landed, so it hasn't done any damage to you yet. It's just on your head.
Okay. I immediately just grab it.
Okay. Make a strength check. Okay. You manage to grab it by the back legs, and it's now sort of dangling. And it very weirdly, for a second, in your Orisa brain, which is the only way I can describe that, in your Orisa brain, it reminds you of Pug, in that it looks like it's trying to like punch you with its claws while it's dangling upside down. Very weird experience for you. So yeah, you've got its bottom legs, but it's like jabbing at you. And what's your AC?
14.
Okay, no, it's missing you because it's upside down, but it is like trying to swipe at you. I'll give you one more thing. Do you want to do anything else, or do you want to just hold it for the moment?
I just kind of. I'll skip to the quite politely. I'm really sorry, Mr. Brown. Could you not?
Could you not?
The squirrel with like hate in his eyes, upside down, sort of like swaying backwards and forwards while jabbing at you, sort of like pauses mid-swing, and it goes, "You what?
Please?
Please what?
Can you not?
Could you stop attacking me?
Oh, well, you know, that's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. I think I will." And he like lowers its claws.
Thank you so much. I kind of bend my way up.
Okay, you now have a squirrel like sat in your hand, like brushing its claws off of dirt and dust. And it's the big one's go now, and then we'll be back to Enna. And he is going to make a flying leap, and he is going to land on Kess.
Mm-hmm.
You now have the big grey squirrel on your shoulders. It's too big to land on your head, so it's like on your shoulders. And what is your AC?
14.
Oh, okay. It is scrabbling at you, and it does 4 points of scratching damage on your head.
How many points? Because I just heard points.
Oh, 4, sorry, 4.
Oh.
Okay. You've all got your hit points back, by the way, and any extra ones from leveling up, you've got those because you've slept, obviously, since the night before.
Yeah, I'm going stupid fiery abomination.
Alright. And we're back at the top now. So, Enna, it's your go. You are holding on to this squirrel with Kiara as well. And it's still, like, writhing around, like, what you put me? What you molest her?
I'm going to gently but firmly kick Kiara in the shin. Let's go. And yeah, then hopefully she lets go.
Okay, roll a strength for kicking her in the shin.
Firmly but gently. Okay, let's see. Oh, damn it. That's not 7. That's not that good.
Okay, you tap her on the shin. Kiara, it distracts your attention from the squirrel. You notice it, but you don't really take any damage from it.
Okay.
Okay, so Enna, she's still sort of got a hold of the squiggle. In fact, you both now have a hold of a squiggle. So, Enna, did you want to do anything else?
Yeah, I'm gonna try again, and just like pull Billy away from Kiara.
Okay, make a strength check, and Kiara make a strength as well.
Okay. Damn it!
Oh no! Okay, Enna 17, Kiara 21. Okay, as you pull Billy, the squirrel, he wriggles in such a way that your hand slips, and Kiara, you are now holding the squirrel.
Yes.
No, Billy.
Toss them back to the squirrels.
So yeah, what do you want to do with him, Kiara?
Oh yeah, can I throw him back towards the other squirrels?
Like the ones in the tree or the
Just anywhere away from Emma.
Okay.
Throw it in this distance.
Okay, make a strength check for throwing, or you can make a dex check if you're better at that, but only because that you'd be aiming the squirrel.
I'm better with strength, so I'll do strength.
Yeah. Okay.
So you're throwing it as far away as possible. Maybe into a tree or something.
You can aim it for the trees, like where the rest of the squirrels are. If you roll high enough, I'll say you knocked a few of them out. Was that a 9?
Yeah, it was a 9.
Okay, yeah. You throw him, and he sails over the heads of 2 squirrels, which duck, and he lands on the same tree that the big grey squirrel was on, but a bit further back, and like shakes himself off and like looks down at you grumpily. And Enna, that's the end of your go. And Kiara, because you're so far down the list, I'll just say that we'll just get to you in a little bit. Enna, did you want to do anything else just before?
I'm gonna quietly sob to myself.
Oh, bless. Okay. Pug, it's your go.
I shout to the squirrels, "You got your friend back and leave us alone." I saw my sword high in the air.
Okay, Pug, remind me of your AC again, because there's still one on your head.
It is 14.
Oh, bugger. Okay, it's still scratching away at you and pulling at you, but you don't take any damage from it. You can't really feel a great deal. It's like getting its claws tangled in your, suddenly, once again, very beautifully windswept, dashing hair. And it's like, almost like it's so conditioned that its claws are just sailing through your hair and it can't get a good grip on you.
Oh my god.
And you also hear the very large grey squirrel that is on Kess's shoulder shout, "Never! We have been wronged! Attack!" And Kess, with that ringing in your ear, it is now your go.
Oh. Hello, I couldn't hear you at all.
Oh, the large grey squirrel just shouted that they're not going to surrender, and it's still sitting on your shoulder, so what do you want to do?
That's fine, we will roast you over our campfire. You'll taste nice.
We shall do the same to you!
You can't even carry us.
There are many of us, and we can chop you into small pieces with our teeth.
We'll roast you first, and then chew you all up. Just snap my teeth.
Alrighty. Are you making an attack as well, or are you just attacking with your words for this round?
I mean, this probably could do with an intimidation check.
Yeah, you can do.
Oh, well. Yeah, it's just a 14.
Okay.
So,
The big grey squirrel who's shrieking in your ear doesn't flinch. The squirrel who Enna named Billy is visibly sort of cowering on his branch now, sort of like stroking his fur back and shaking a bit. And another couple of squirrels have run to him to sort of like pick him up and make sure he's alright. The others are sort of staring on in fascination.
Can I still try to attack the grey squirrel or not really?
Yeah, you can try, yeah. Because he's on you.
Yeah, can I use Eldritch Blast to like point it at it? Or is it too difficult?
It would be a bit difficult because it's on you, so I would probably say to avoid that for now. You can try and shake it off you, and then next round you could blast it if you want.
How about using chill touch then?
Yeah, can do.
Okay. So that's still d6 damage plus extra d6 from the hex.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. Oh no. Chill touch is 8 d8. Okay, it's plus. So that's 4 points of damage.
Is that total?
Not a lot. Yeah.
Okay. Well, he only takes 3 of them because he got 1 off from his armor for that. But alright, I've written that one down as well. Okie dokie. Okay. Belgarath.
Yeah.
It is now your turn. Did you have 2 of them on you?
I did have 2 of them.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I'd written. I was hoping I was right. Okay. So, what do you want to do? You have now become like a set of squirrel weighing scales.
Yeah, I kind of, I heard what the leader girl said about being wrong, so I'm going to shout at Pug that I think they want the sword back. That's all they want. So just give that back to them, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to try and grab the squirrels off of me and knock their heads together.
Okay. Roll a strength for that, then.
Okay. I would use magic, but all the spells just seem kind of overkill. Like, if this is still going on my next turn, then I will, but I don't want to.
Okay, so
Okay,
you're
40.
just... Okay, so you're picking them both up and clonking their heads together.
Yes.
Okay, can you just roll me a d6, just 1 d6?
For D6.
Yeah, in fact, roll it twice. So roll 2 d6s and tell me the individual numbers, not the total.
Okay. Okay, first one is a 4,
Ooh, okay.
and the second is 1.
Okay, so one of them takes 4 damage and one of them takes 1. You sort of clonk them together, and are you right or left-handed?
Right-handed.
Okay, so you're a bit strong on your right hand, so the right one's head smacks the left one's a little bit harder and ricochets, so the one on the left takes the 4 points of damage and the one on your right hand takes the 1. And they both go, yeah! Wronged! Wronged! And going by the beautiful picture, I am going to say that the leader, the massive grey squirrel who is still on Kess, shouts, "Rise, my army!" And Kiara, it is your turn. You've just thrown Billy the squirrel into the tree.
Poor Billy.
Are they coming towards us?
Yeah, actually, another 2 are clambering down from the nearest tree and coming towards you. They haven't jumped at you because of all the shouting, but they are running towards you.
Okay, I'm gonna swing my axe, not really at them, but to try and ward them off.
Okay, sure. Roll me a dex check for that to see how well you managed to avoid them.
Okay. 20.
Ooh, very nice. Okay, you swing in a nice wide circle and the squirrels all leap back out of the way and one of them climbs back up the tree. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. Aw, Anna's so sad. She wants her baby squirrel back. Okay, so...
It was the greater good.
Alright, the other squirrels have gone. So, Arissa, it's your go. You have a squirrel on your head. No, in your hands.
In my hand.
In your hand.
Yeah. I'm going to ask it very nicely if it could persuade its friends to stop attacking us, please.
Oh, I'm not sure about that. You do seem very nice, though, but you're nice, but what about the other ones?
Well, they're nice, I promise. They're just having a bad day.
Well, I'll see what I can do. And,
Thank you so much.
in the cutest little thing you have ever seen, the squirrel puts some claws in its mouth and does a tiny little whistle. And all the other squirrels look up, except for the big grey leader who's on you, Cass. And the little squirrel says, "Listen up, boys! This one is okay! That's a fantastic picture, I need to use that. Okay. It's the one of the man getting attacked by the squiggles for my editing pleasure. Okay, and the squiggle in Arissa's hands shouts to the rest of them and says, "This one's okay! She stopped attacking! She was very polite! I think the rest of them might too if we all just say please!" And the rest of the squirrels, some of them look at him in a confused expression, and the ones in the trees look like they're listening. And Belgarath, one of the ones in your hand, the one who took the most damage, is sort of looking dazedly around, and you hear a little voice say to you, "Oh, please put me down, great giant sir. I would so appreciate it."
Alright, fair enough.
Are you going to put them down?
I'll put them down.
Both of them?
Yes, I'll put both of them down.
Okay. As you're lowering them, the other one in your right hand is like trying to biff you and shouting, "Yes, unhand me! Unhand me!"
I'll flick him about the ear and then put him down.
Oof! That was most unnecessary! Alright.
Disagree.
Alright. Pug, this squirrel that's on your head is no longer attacking you. It's sat perched on your head, cleaning its whiskers and looking around. Kess, the big grey squirrel, is still on your shoulder, looking around but not attacking you anymore. But it's still wary. And the rest of the squirrels are either on the ground in front of Enna and Kiara, and several are up in the trees as well. And Arissa, there's another one sat. He's just still sat in your hand, the same one. Alright, so we're back to the top of the round and it's Enna's go. You're technically no longer in combat except Kess potentially. But I'll let you take your turn again. So Enna, what do you fancy doing?
So none of them are being mean and attacking anymore.
No.
So I'm just going to ask them why they jumped out at us and why Billy jumped on my head.
Maybe don't call him Billy.
Use his real name, we don't want to offend him.
What is his...
My name is Quarkick!
Quarkick? Yeah, I think he needs time. Quarkick. Okay, Quarkick. Why did you jump down on my head so suddenly?
Well, it looked like a nice soft place to land!
Well,
Okay.
can't say further than that.
Well, you can understand why we took that as an attack, and why I wanted to keep you as my baby.
I don't quite understand. So, if I was a colossal dinosaur and I jumped on your head, would you want to keep me as your baby then? Or was it just because I was small and fluffy?
Well, if there was a small dinosaur, I'd probably want to pet it too. But a giant one would probably trample me to death.
Yes. So if I was a giant squirrel, you wouldn't have tried to pet me, would you?
Well, no, she wouldn't, because she'd be dead.
Yeah, I'd be trampled to death. That would be the end of me.
Sounding a little bit sizist there. What if I was a crocodile? A little baby crocodile? Would you try to pet me then?
Probably yes.
So you're biased towards small, cute things, huh?
In a good way. I love you forever. And I'm gonna make the little hand sign heart thing.
A few of the
All
squirrels.
yours in a good way.
A few of the squirrels confusedly try to copy you with their claws and make the little hand heart signal. They don't really understand what they're doing, but they sort of try and copy. And Quarkick calls out again to you and he says, "So, do many of the ones who walk upright have the same disposition as you? Do they like small, furry creatures?"
That's like
Not all of them.
Disgusting.
Not supposed to small furry creatures.
And he calls over to the big grey squirrel who's still sat on Kessa's shoulder, and he also looks around at the others.
Or something.
And he says, "Lads, we could use this to our advantage, you know. Small and cute and fluffy." And some of the squirrels gather around him in the tree and they start to debate this and nod their heads and make the little heart symbol with their hands. And so go, and the big one on...
Yeah. can I push it off my shoulder or something while it's not paying attention?
Sure.
When it's distracted.
Do
Or
a...
just push it off to the ground.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
disgusting.
Yeah, sure. Okay, you push it off and it lands on the ground. It does a fantastic superhero roll and like stands in front of you with its claws raised and its tail bristling, going, "Here! You dare to push the mighty Almond!"
The mighty almond will get squished if he doesn't leave me alone.
The mighty Almond is a good 2 feet, nearly 2 feet high at this point, by the way.
That's pretty big.
It will get kicked then.
He's a pretty big squirrel. Are you actually going to kick Almond?
I'm talking to it for now.
Alright. He's like, got his hackles raised and he's raising his like claws and he's saying,
Sorry?
he's got his claws raised and he's stood in front of you on the floor and he's sort of glaring.
Is he trying to intimidate me?
Sure, he is.
Roll for it.
Yep.
That's a pretty bold squirrel.
He's the squirrel leader. Okay, he rolled a...
What do I roll against it?
You roll... I was going to say will, but that's the wrong gaming system. I'm
Okay.
going to say that against it you would roll a... I mean, it's almost charisma.
Oh, okay, so charisma check. That's fine. No?
Yeah. Is that okay, charisma check? Just because, like,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, I have a +6 on it.
Oh, okay. I was like, yeah, that's like your strength of mind against the squirrel. Okay. So, did I already roll the squirrel? Fuck. What did I roll? Oh no, I rolled this one. Here you go. The squirrel rolled a 16.
By the way, is it a straight charisma check?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's fine. I rolled a 16 as well.
Oh.
So what modifier does it have?
It's a
Because I have a
stalemate. The squirrel is not afraid of you, and you are not afraid of the squirrel. And
Okay.
there passes between you, as you look into each other's eyes, a moment of understanding, recognition, and acknowledgement. And the squirrel lowers its claws, and you realise that this creature, if he wanted to, probably could cause you quite a lot of damage.
But I would kill it.
But yeah, so it lowers its claws and like stands before you, proud and tall. Well, short but tall. Okay. What does everyone else want to do while this is going on? Or
I'm
after
just happy
this
to
has
watch,
gone
to be honest.
on? Huh?
I said I'm just happy to watch, to be honest.
Staring down the squirrel.
There are 2 squirrels stood in front of you, Belgarath, still actually, the 2 that you dropped.
Are they doing anything?
No, they're sort of like looking around, looking up at you, and looking over at their leader and things.
Well,
If they're not attacking me, I'm kind of content to just leave them be.
Okay, cool. So, anyone
I do
else?
have a question
Uh-huh.
towards Armand.
Okay, shoot.
I point at the sword in a pug's hand and go, do you squirrels have any idea where this sword comes from or what it is?
They ain't getting it back, that's for sure.
It's not our sword. It's bigger than me. What do you think I'd need a bloody sword that size for?
It was a question.
And Quirkick and another couple of the squirrels looking down, and the 2 squirrels at Belgarath's feet, they sort of scurry over and have a look at it, and the ones from the trees peer down. And the 2 that were at Belgarath's feet now stand before you, Pug, and looking down at it. The one that's on top of your head stops grooming itself and like jumps down your arm and like taps on the sword with its knuckle, with his little claw, like ding ding ding. And like puts its ear to the blade and like listens and looks down at the others and like and they all like nod in agreement, and the other 2 like run up the tree, and the squirrel sat on Belgarath's arm turns around and says, "Yep, this sword came from the sky."
From the sky.
Sky.
Yep, fell from the sky. We saw it.
when did it?
So it's quite valuable then.
I don't know. I don't know
Or
the
could be
currency
rubbish
of
that
sky
someone chucked out.
swords. What was that?
Or it could be rubbish that someone chucked out.
Maybe the squirrel angels threw it out of squirrel heaven.
It's not really squirrel size.
No, that's probably why they got rid of it.
Exactly, rubbish.
Rubbish is squirrels, I'm keeping it.
It sounds like it's blessed, you know, says the one that's on your arm, and it's like listening to the sword again. Can you hear her? She's speaking to us.
Who?
What's she say?
She's saying, blessed, blessed be thee. Carry my sword, come to me, blessed. Oh, and some other bullshit.
So, Speedpug, somebody's trying to control it.
What was in it for me?
Is that question directed at the squirrel or the sword?
It's a question directed to the gods.
The sword or whatever.
Okay. Make a persuasion roll.
Talk to your sword, Bug.
I got 19.
Okay. One moment. Okay. You feel the sword get a little warmer in your hand. Not unpleasant, but it warms up at the question. And
That's actually 20 instead of 19.
oh, okay. Well, you hear a voice, and it's soft and it's female, and it comes from somewhere within the sword, but somehow you know it's not the sword speaking, it's using the sword as a means of connection to you. And the voice says, blessed, be my champion, come, free me, O noblest pug.
Alright, where you at?
Doesn't say anything else.
Rosie, can we also hear the sword? Or is it just Bug?
Roll a
Do we
perception.
just see him talking to the
Roll
sword?
a perception, all of you, because you definitely heard the first bit of that conversation, but roll a perception to see if you hear the response.
I think that's in there.
Okay. 5 for Kiara, 7 for Cass. Okay. Enna, you heard it. Arissa, you heard it.
Hang on, my laptop's... It's at 13 for me.
So,
Okay, yeah, so
Oh,
Enna,
right.
Arissa, and Belgarath, you
That's a
heard
good
it.
person.
So you heard a voice come from the sword, soft and female, and it said, blessed, be my champion, free me, O noblest pug.
so Pug, why are you trying to talk to your sword? Is it
It's
trying
just talking
to...
back to me. This is the kind of thing I'm after. Magic artifacts and stuff. I'm sure this lass has plenty of stuff for me.
Well, if she's calling you the noblest, I feel like it's some sort of evil demon thing that you should not mess with whatsoever.
Oh, I think she's telling the truth.
It could be a demonic sword pretending to be a blessed artifact.
I don't know. It's saying all the right things.
It's
Exactly what a
exactly
demon
what
would
an
do.
evil thing would do.
To make you believe.
Do
I
you believe? Do you believe?
I believe this ancient god that no one's ever heard of is on the right tracks. I say we go save her.
Who is it, anyway? Your sword? How do we save your sword?
It sounds like we're gonna have to do research to find out where. I'm sure there are plenty of books at the castle which will teach us what
You mean
we
the
need to know.
capital?
Capital, castle, same thing.
Not quite. Do you think whoever it is can get rid of the darkness?
The darkness around the capital? Or around the country?
Whole continent. Around the country. It got rid of it in the clearing. Well,
Gods can do whatever they
you
want.
would not ruin our weather here.
What'd you say?
It's quite communist. But I said I would quite prefer if you would not insist on ruining our very nice weather here.
I mean, I like a cloudy day as much as the next bloke, but enough is enough.
I'm with Pug. I want to find out. I'm sure you can go to other continents. Oh, sorry, go for it. No, that was it. So I'm sure you can find other continents with sunshine if that's what you like.
Yeah, but we're here now. Why waste time traveling all the way back through the forest after wrestling another deer and track down another boat just to find something else when we're right here?
It's because sunshine is unpleasant. We do not need it here.
It sounds like you're the only one who doesn't like it, Skiles.
Which one of you are from this land?
Not like.
Well, my father does come from here.
And does he like sunshine?
I don't know, he's dead.
Oh, good for him.
What, did the sunshine kill him?
No, I did.
Could have.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, yeah, I haven't told you about what I did to my father yet, have I? Funny story.
How is it for you?
Just
Must be interesting.
OC quickly, Belgraph, how long ago was that?
Say again, sorry.
How long ago was that?
Oh, just a few years.
Roughly how many?
Roughly 3 or 4.
Okay, thank you. Carry on.
Well, he didn't tell you anything about his homeland.
No, he did not.
Well, okay.
We didn't really have much of a conversation.
Well, you guys come to this land that you have never been to, and you're saying that things here should be changing. But I think it should be just kept as normal, and the way the people who live here like it.
The people living here. Okay, I'm only saying this because of the sword. The people living here are afraid for their lives. Did you miss the town we were at before? How everyone was afraid of the darkness that just kind of lingers around here?
Well, the darkness is just part of this land. If I could control it, then I would be a magician controlling the weather. I'm not as powerful to be controlling the darkness of this whole land.
Okay.
But
I
the
think
darkness
we
is
should
nice
go-
to me. Maybe you should just get to know the darkness a bit better.
And just live in fear for the rest of our lives.
Do I look afraid?
Oh my God.
Are you afraid of the darkness?
The rest of the country is.
Well, the weak ones are. But
So
who cares
why don't
about
we
them?
just let them get squished then? And we could just
Yeah.
ransack this stuff and be kings of the new country.
Alrighty, so what do you guys fancy doing? The squirrels have sort of taken a step back and are sort of talking amongst themselves and looking at you. What do you guys fancy doing? You can press on, you can, try and go past them, have a chat. What do you think?
I'm still on my way to the capital.
Oh,
It's Queen Supreme over here. What you doing?
I'm not quite sure who you want to rescue though.
Alright, so the squirrels are having a chat amongst themselves, and the big one, the big grey one who called himself Almon, he sort of turns around and looks at you, and they all peer over the trees and down, and the one that you had, Emma, Quirkick, or Billy, he scuttles down the tree and stands before you and takes off his acorn helmet and says, "My apologies for landing upon you in such an untimely manner. I hope we can be forgiven." And he holds out his paw to shake your hand.
Oh, I'll shake its paw and apologise for molesting him.
Then I think we are both accepting of the other's apologies. In which case, I call us even. And I would make you my blood brother.
Yay! Oh, how do I do that?
Like this. And he's still shaking your hand, and he uses his little claw, and he pokes a tiny little hole in your thumb, and he does the same thing to his thumb, and he pushes them together, and you have a tiny little squirrel thumb on your thumb, and the blood makes a little puddle, a tiny little puddle around them, and he holds it there for a while, and he says, "Now you are my brother. Go forth and be free from our forest."
I'll miss you forever. You were my favorite.
"And you mine. You stood up for yourself most bravely, and if you should ever be near our forest again, you have only to whistle, and I shall come to you."
I appreciate it.
It's adorable.
Stupid squirrels. Next time I will roast them.
We heard that, big one. Just because you are born with the gift of fire does not mean you should use it against everyone.
Oh, no. I'm not born with a gift of fire. I can just make a campfire.
Well,
And
you
roast
seem to
people
use
with
it to threaten people quite a lot. Perhaps that is something you could work on, like some sort of personality defect.
You say I've been using fire a lot.
You threatened me with it at least 3 times.
But everyone cooks over a campfire.
We do not.
Civilized people cook over a fire.
The squirrels shake their heads. They all shake their heads and climb back up into their trees. You may go! They start calling to you. Go! Henceforth! Go! Carry on your way! Be off with you! Go!
Right, so we're off towards the capital then.
And as you walk under the canopy of trees, several of them do the heart thing with their claws as a, like, sign of goodbye.
Aww.
But yeah, you can carry on. You can carry on through. And you get to the edge of the wood pass forest, because you curved around the top bit, so you didn't really hit the dense bit in the middle. And you step out, and Pug, have you put the sword away?
No.
You still got it in your hands?
Can I tell him to put the sword away?
You can try.
You can ask.
Would you put that disgusting thing away?
It seems it's not needed right now. We put it away.
It's never needed.
I wrap it up. Put it in my backpack.
Alright, so as you step out into the edge of the forest, it's now sort of the middle of the afternoon. The skies are grey and dark, and as Pug, you put the sword away back in its makeshift sheath behind you and keep checking on it every few moments. You notice that it definitely starts to feel a bit colder around you in the air. It was sort of temperate, it was okay, and now it is definitely a lot cooler and chillier. And the land around you is desolate, and where once there were dirt paths and roads and forests, hills and valleys and birds and song and just life, there is now grey rolling hills, dark dank grass, a grey mottled sky flecked with black, forks of tiny red lightning off in the distance, the echoing rumbles of thunder far away. The ground is dark and muddy. There's a gentle mist hovering around the edges of your vision. Everything is grey and unsettling and dank and cold. There's no warmth here. There's no light and life here. Even the bird song you heard as you were exiting the forest seems to have disappeared. And it's just wasteland.
Your beautiful homeland, Scales.
Mm-hmm. What was that, Squishling?
Let's go.
It is worth noting as well, those of you who have or haven't travelled here before, everyone is aware that this country of Travis, it wasn't always this way. It was always fairly rugged and full of explorers and travellers and minimal cities, and the population was always quite spread out. But since the war happened, in the last 5 years, it's turned into this. Before it was just like stretches of land and path and forests and woodlands and things. But now it is dank and grey. And you remember what you were all told about the war and what you learnt about the war, that the population of Travis is now down to 30% of what it used to be. And it suddenly hits you now just how bad that really is. And that normally you would have other people travelling with you on the road. You'd be able to see carts, perhaps merchants, perhaps families making their way to different places. But now, nothing. Not a sound, barely a movement. Even the clouds in the sky above you just don't seem to be going anywhere. It's just a state of shock across the landscape. So, pressing onward, are you still making your way towards the capital?
Oh, I am.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Alright. Who is going to then lead this? Who wants to take charge of where you start to go? Because in order to know where you're going, you would need to make either survival or nature checks so you can see which direction you should be headed in, unless any of you has a compass.
I can try a survival check.
Yep. Anyone who has survival or nature, you can do a survival or a nature check.
I am not trained in that.
Ooh. Boom.
Ooh, 25. That's not bad. Alright, 10, 25, 15. Okay, those are all fairly decent scores. Okay, so Kes, Anna, and Kiara, between the three of you, you know that the capital is almost bang in the centre of Travis. And as you're on the west coast, you need to be heading towards the east. And so you look at where the sun is in the sky, and when I say sun, I mean hidden behind thick grey clouds and like difficult to see. But just judging by the way things are and your general knowledge in it and the fact that Enna rolled a 25, you can tell which way you need to be going. And you're going towards the east and you set off in that direction. So, Enna, having rolled the best, points in the direction. So, are you all gonna walk together, or do you want to walk in any sort of formation?
I'll take the lead.
Okay.
I'll go behind.
Okay, so Enna points the direction you should be walking, which is towards a valley dip between two of the hills. And Pug strides off magnanimously ahead. And who wants to bring up the rear, and what sort of formation are you going to go in?
Oh, I'm happy to go at the back as well.
Okay.
Away from the plastic sword.
Okay, so Pug and Kes is right at the back. Okay, so who else would like to be front, centre, or back?
Front.
Front for Anna. Okay.
Center.
I'll be somewhere in the middle.
Was that centre for Arissa?
Yeah.
Okay. And Kiara somewhere in the middle as well?
Yep.
And Belgarath?
Yeah, I said I was going to pull on behind.
Behind the Dragonborn?
Pug.
Oh,
Oh, behind Pug. Okay.
Unless Pug turned into a dragonborn in the last few minutes.
Yeah, he obviously has.
Anything could have happened.
Okay. I have drawn that out for you. But basically, yeah, so Pug, you're at the front. Belgarath and Enna, you're either side of him, but slightly back a bit. Kiara, you're just behind them. Arissa, you're just near Kiara. And then Cass, you're at the back. Does that sound about right? Cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So, Fellowship of the Ring style, you head across the barren wasteland of Travis and towards where you are sure... Well, first, you know you're going to hit the city of Dents, well, the town of Dents. You have no idea what you're going to find when you find it. You don't know if it's going to be a roaring town still standing and full, or if it's going to be completely dilapidated and destroyed. All you know is that not everywhere was as lucky as Savis. And then on from there is the capital, Rog. You can't see anything on the horizon at the moment. All you can see is bleak landscape, half-dead trees, and greying grass and some thunder. As you're all walking along, and I'm aware that we're only going to go for about another 20 minutes because people are going to have to go to bed. So we'll just do one last thing before you all go to bed because it's around this time anyway. So,
That's good.
can everybody please roll? It's not perception. It's not
Oh my
perception.
gosh. Oh my gosh,
It's not, because it just isn't. It's not like Okay, can everyone either roll a athletics or acrobatics, please?
Oh, brilliant. Yes.
Athletics.
Hey, that's 1 dex and 1 strength.
Nice.
Alright, 15 for Cass.
yeah.
I got 20.
Acrobatics.
And 17, Arissa,
I
13,
got 12 athletics.
and 20. And was that 12 for Belgrath?
Yep.
12. And Kiara, was that 23?
23, yeah.
23.
He's getting the live one.
Alright. 12 Belgarath and Arissa. And alright. Belgarath and Arissa.
Yeah.
You rolled the left. Okay, now I'm going to tell you what happens first, and then I'll tell you what happens to you. Okay, as you're walking along, you've been going for maybe half an hour, 45 minutes, heading in your direction. The sky is getting a little darker. Oh, the excitement of my dog upon hearing that noise.
Oh, sorry.
He thinks there's a squeaky toy, and he doesn't know why I've hidden it from him. Why is it in the laptop, Mummy? Why is there a squeaky toy in the laptop? It's not, Bubby. I'm sorry. Oh, so he's getting up and going looking now. He's getting all confused. Poor puppy. Oh well. Right.
You do, boy, Amos.
Oh, is it Amos with a squeaky toy? Is that what he's got?
What do you think it was?
I'll be honest, I thought it was Pug's parrot thing, but never mind.
Okay.
Okay.
Cockatiel, it's not fair.
Alright, sorry. My bad. Okay, so now that you've disturbed my dog. Okay, what you feel suddenly coming, and that's why I didn't make you roll perception, because it was too sudden, is the ground beneath you rumbles and starts to shake. And I don't really think any of you have ever felt anything like this before, but into your minds flashes a word that you've heard of in descriptions from people in books or people you've spoken to before. Arissa, you've met people who've survived this kind of thing, and the word that strikes your brain is earth tremor.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Okay. As the ground starts to shake, you struggle.
Oh, good.
You struggle to stay on your feet. And Belgarath and Arissa, you are thrown onto your backs, and the earth below you shudders, and you jumble on the spot like a pancake in a frying pan. And you both take... Bear with me 1 minute. Okay, Arissa... No, actually, both of you take 4 points of damage.
Oh.
I'm going to call it shuddering damage because it sounds fun.
Bludgeoning.
No, shuddering. It's way more fun.
Got
Cass,
more flavor.
Cass, you wobble over and stagger, and you sort of land on one knee, but you're still vaguely upright. And Enna, Kiara, and Pug, you're still on your feet, but you're wobbling.
Got it.
Notice again. Stupid camera.
And as the tremor passes through the ground beneath you, you notice that it came towards you and then went past you, underneath you, and then came back, almost like a ripple in a pond. It spread out and came back, and you see it all concentrated, quite far off, but just on the very edge of your vision, further towards the direction you're going. You see something glowing in the ground, and it shakes and rumbles, and the quiver that ran through the earth, the tremor that went underneath you, goes back to that spot, and it glows and then the tremor stops. And a red lightning flashes the sky, and then falls silent again.
Interesting.
Scary.
I would
And
like to investigate here.
yeah. All right.
Is that the kind of thing that happens normally around here?
Yes, everyday occurrence.
These small tremors, they are felt all over the bits of Travis that you have been to. Anyone who's visited Travis before, you've either felt these or heard of these. You've never felt one stronger than this, but you've heard that they do get stronger than this. If you want to go and investigate, it will take you another hour or so of walking, but it's in the direction you're going anyway, so you can get to it if you like.
Yeah, this one seems particularly strong. I'm thinking I want to see the source.
Alrighty. Does anyone else want to investigate as you're going past it? It's on your way to get to Dents and the capital.
Yeah, it's on the way anyway.
Yeah?
Yeah, well, that's a fun thing.
Road trip!
Yeah, good thing you're not afraid of some little tremors.
Alright. As you get close to it, you realise it's a lot bigger than you thought. And the earth has split, and it's possibly a mile long. And bits of the earth along this great crack have caved in and fallen in. But as you peer down over the edge, far below all the bits of roots and earth and dirt and things that have fallen down since this crack must have appeared, you see almost like firelight. Something red and orange, ambery yellow, flickering and glowing far below the surface of the earth, miles and miles down. But as you peer over the edge, your faces grow warm, almost as though the fire were right in front of you.
Sorry, what?
Miles below the surface of the earth, below the crack that's running through it, miles long, beneath roots and dirt, you can see what looks like flames. And as you peer down, your face grows hot, even though what looks like flames is miles below you.
I see. It's a big crack in the earth, and there is something warm down there.
And yes, Arissa, it's getting warmer if you want to do your roll for doing your thing.
It's a D20.
Yes.
Can I try to use an eldritch blast to light it up, the darkness, to see if what's down there?
You can do, sure. What's the range on that? How far does it go? Does it say?
It only goes 120 feet.
Okay.
So not very far, but
You can try it if you like. It won't
Yeah,
go very
thanks.
far. And
Yeah.
Arissa, you are feeling quite warm, flushed in the face, but the rest of you is okay. Just you've got very warm cheeks at the moment.
Okay.
okay. Do I see anything when I try to light it up?
You see that there is roots and dead trees and earth and even some rotted flesh and skeleton bones scattered amongst the earth. And all you can really see, because compared to how far down this goes, your light has barely scratched the surface. But what you can see is that this crack in the earth happened a while ago, and life and the earth in general has pushed against the side since. So like soil has fallen down there, and it's not closing up exactly, but it looks like it's starting to form over the top. And it feels hot when you look down at it. When you move your head back, it's fine. But when you look directly down and you can see what looks like the flames, you feel a heat against your face. And as you all continue to walk along this crack and walk past, you find your way obstructed by odds and ends and things and dirt and more occasional bones and things. And you see, Arissa, you nearly trip over a chair, and you find slates from roofs and brick and wood and planks and things. And looking around, you realise this used to be a town.
Dennis? Could this be the town of Dennis or where we're going?
It quite possibly could be the ruins of the big town of Dents. Yes.
Is there a way to investigate if that is the case?
Yeah, you can roll investigation to see if you can find anything like...
Yeah, I guess I'm trying to look for any papers, signs, or anything that tells where what this was. Oh god, I'm not good at investigating.
11. Okay.
I have a -1 on it.
You notice that there is smoke, just little bits rising from the crack in the ground that you notice now that you've pulled your head out. And looking around, you can make out the shapes of buildings, destroyed buildings, crushed buildings that have fallen in on themselves and collapsed. And as you look, there's no way to tell, having not been to Dents before, and there's no street signs or anything, but you can definitely make out the pathways of where streets and roads and things may have been. And it's definitely the ruins of a town.
This is about the right direction.
Yeah,
isn't it?
this is about the right direction.
So, everyone, welcome to Dents. I hope you enjoy your stay.
Okay.
Yeah, let's maybe not stay.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Pug on this.
Yeah. Alright, are you just
I
gonna...
wonder if the capital will be in the same state.
Well, I guess we have to go and find out.
Should we gather some provisions here?
Are there any provisions we have?
You can roll investigation, you can all check and see if you can find things.
Yeah, can someone else roll investigation?
Yeah, I'll do that.
It's all down in the fissure, right?
That's it.
The city.
Sorry?
Yeah, take Carissa's roll because I don't have a modifier for
You
investigation.
should still roll. You might roll better than me.
Oh yeah, alright, I'll give it a go. I'm just saying unlikely.
Okay, I'll give it a go as well. Yeah, I got 11 again. It doesn't matter. I managed to get 0, so...
Aww. So,
Aw.
9 for Belgarath.
That could happen to me as well.
Alright, is that everyone who's looked? Okay. This place has already been ransacked. Many times. It's been picked over, it's been broken apart. Chests you found are empty. Any parts of buildings left standing have been gone through. You find nothing here of any particular use to you. No. And
Okay.
So are you continuing on your way then?
May as well, I suppose.
How late is it in the day?
It is sort of late afternoon, around the sort of like 3:30 mark. You could keep walking for a little bit, and then before you'd need to make camp in the dark. I mean, or you could stop here. I mean, there's no buildings here. Everything's fallen apart. But by all means, you could stop here if you want.
I think this is a bad place to stop.
Bad doo-doo.
You don't like our cities in Travis?
Sorry?
I say we just keep going.
Our town's not scenic enough for your liking.
This isn't a town, this is a bunch of ruined walls.
This is what we have.
I'm pretty sure there are all intact places around Travis. I've been to a few of them. This is not a town, this is the wreckage of what a town used to be.
So, pressing onward then, guys.
Why not?
All right. Are you going to keep heading east towards the capital then?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Pug magnanimously leading the way again. Dum 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 dum. Falling back into position. And just before I end things for the night, as you are strolling onwards and the dark is slowly closing in and you begin to think about maybe having a place to stop, a voice calls out from somewhere in the sky above you. And you hear a young male voice call out, "Didn't breathe in any of that smoke, did you? That could go badly."
What the fuck?
Did we hear between us?
Do we recognize the voice?
You do not recognize the voice. And I will leave you with this image. You look up to where the voice came from in the sky, and hovering above you, coming down out of the low-hanging dark clouds, you see a small but modest hovering airship. And leaning down over the edge with one hand on the wheel is a young, maybe 17, 18-year-old, blonde-haired, half-elf male, leaning over the edge, shouting, "Didn't breathe any of that smoke in, did you? 'Cause that could go badly." And no, it's not Varric, sorry. He has not suddenly turned blonde and half-human.
No, he's gone for good.
Yeah.
And that, my lovelies, is where I'm going to leave it for this evening.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, guys, the sense.
So, if you'll all bear with me for 2 seconds, I shall play you out. And you can all say Tatty Bar, or Tatty Bear. Sorry, we're all saying Tatty Bear, aren't we?
Yeah, we teddy bear around here.
You Tatty Bear. It's the only way to do things properly. All right, so everybody, I will stay on, so don't turn off just yet. But we'll finish the recording first. Everybody say Tatty Bear.
Teddy bears.
Tatty bye.
So long and
So long, farewell, I'll see you soon.
What's wireless?
one truck